back to no sound?
Hello.
Okay, there we go. Now we've got sound.
Is it me you're looking for?
Oh my
I
god.
can see it in your eyes.
Oh, stop that. Stop
I
that,
can
please.
see it
Okay.
in your soul.
Okay. All right. Let's get started, guys, because we're starting a little bit late here. And all right. Exactly, Frostfire. Okay, guys. So I apologize. I was very confident about the stream today. We were set up 10 minutes early. Sam actually showed up on time, makeup ready to go. Volanda's coffee was ready. Alex was ready to go. I apparently screwed up again, so I want to apologize. So let's get started, guys. All right. So welcome to another episode of 6 and 20 Metropolis. This is the makeup episode for last week. We had a little bit of difficulty last week due to an injury from one of our players, so we decided to take an extended break, and we're doing 4 episodes this week. So you'll see this episode going on right now as we are just getting started. You're out of coffee already? This is not good. So you'll see this episode tonight starting at 3:15 now, Pacific Standard Time versus 3 o'clock. Tomorrow night we will be back to our normal time, so we'll be back-to-back episodes. This will be episode 8. Tomorrow night will be episode 9 at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Then over on Wednesday night, we're going to be doing Unmade Gaming with Team Lazarus at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, Thursday is going to be Team Esper over on NotSoSpeedRuns. Again, 5 and 8, respectively. So, without further ado, why don't we go around the table and do introductions? And to start it off, we'll go with No Coffee Volanda.
Hi, I'm No Coffee Volanda. I'm playing Savannah, who is totally drinking. Yep, that's who she is. Okay.
Not like anything else happened last episode for Sethana or anything.
I don't remember.
No, Savannah was totally cool. She did not, by the skin of her teeth, come up with some really obscure manner in one side of to literally the other side. Nothing like that happened at all.
Yeah,
She's just a nice, normal PA, just trying to get by in a man's world. That's it.
All right. And so, welcome. Let's jump over to Alex.
Hello, my name is Alex, or you can call me Zippy. It doesn't matter. I'm playing Henry Windsor, a medical student turned outlaw. I assaulted policemen. I've ripped a dude's heart out. You know, stuff that you do on a daily basis when you can control vines and nature and heal people. But hey, at least nobody got hurt.
At least nobody we care about.
Exactly.
Nobody
Wait, no,
care
Roz,
about.
Roz died. No, Roz didn't die. She went into a coma.
Coma.
She's in a coma, yes.
No, I thought you meant dead. I didn't mean, like, hurt.
Oh.
She's unconscious. She's currently A-okay. We just got to figure out how to get her back. That's it.
Right. Exactly. Cheers.
Nailed that introduction. And last but not least, let's go ahead and go over to Sam.
Hi, I'm Sam, also known as Harley's Armory. We did not have to cancel last week because I fell downstairs. I'm playing Charlie. She is blind, and she did not kidnap any children last episode. That did not happen. Yeah.
I mean, you left the child at a
Daycare.
Firehouse.
Daycare.
Yeah.
An appropriate daycare center, right?
I thought it was a fire station.
It was a
It
fire
wasn't a-
station slash daycare.
It was an appropriate fire station / daycare. Okay, guys. So thank you for doing your introductions. We'll do a couple bits of business and we'll jump right into the story because I'm very curious to see where things lead to next, especially given where you guys were, the trouble that you caused, and where you're potentially going to go next. So before we get started, 6 and 20 is this thing that we do across 3 different channels: Unmade Gaming, NotSoSpeedRuns, and here usually Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Of course, this is a special makeup episode. So that, this all happens in a shared world playing the game City of Mist. And if you look in chat, you can actually see I've introduced or put in a little blurb about City of Mist. And for Son of Oak, who is the studio behind City of Mist. It's a great game. You guys know it. You're here hanging out, watching it with us. So, without further ado, or without segue into the next thing, we actually have a little bit of a deal with Son of Oak. They've given us a coupon code that you can add to checkout if you want to buy the core book and PDF from them or through them on their website. If you enter 6 and 20 fan at checkout, you get $5 off the $60 book, and it's this 500-page amazing volume, tome of just amazing art, amazing, game mechanics discussion. There is a lot of material for world building in there. It's probably one of the better systems for dealing also with non-combat related stuff. So you want to pick up a copy, you enjoy what you're watching, it's in chat there. We also have all the episodes up on YouTube now. We finally got that all taken care of. We're caught up to today's episode. So if you want to go ahead and jump over to, yes, it is a Tome of Foes. If you want to go ahead and check out the previous episodes, if you need to catch up, link is in chat right now. If you haven't already, go ahead and throw us a subscribe on that channel. We're trying to hit 100 subscribers so that we can actually get that vanity URL that says youtube.com/VideoStoreCowboy or whatever, however they do their channel URLs. So go ahead and go check that out. We also have a 6 and 20 YouTube that we just introduced a couple of weeks ago, which includes a exclusive behind-the-scenes show specifically about the game, the system, the setting that we're playing in. That is hosted by McLoken, who is on our Thursday channel. Alex has been on a couple of episodes. I've been on one episode. We need to get Sam and Valanda on that show. It's a great time. McLoken does a phenomenal job just kind of sitting there, kind of hanging out and talking with the cast and just kind of engaging them and bringing them to talk about various aspects of the game. McLoken is a huge fan. He even ran his own little one-shot just recently, I believe last week, and you can catch that on YouTube as well. And I think that is it. Yeah. Without further ado, why don't we go ahead and get started? So previously on 6 and 20 Metropolis, Roz had met with Mr. Apollo of Apollo Car Service. When that didn't go well, she was stepping out of her car, or stepping out of the car that was there for her, and was promptly kidnapped by a number of nefarious individuals. Charlie, seeing all this go down, decides that she's going to initiate pursuit. And when she realizes that she can't actually catch up, Charlie, our blind superhero, decided to get behind the wheel of a car and initiate a car chase. Barreling down city streets, zigzagging, able to keep up, she zooms past a 7-Eleven where Henry was having, I believe it was it a hot dog?
It was a burrito and a 7-Eleven Big Gulp.
A burrito and a 7-Eleven Big Gulp. Noticing that something was amiss, and seeing that Charlie was in that driver's seat, he also engages the pursuit, chasing after this van where Roz was actually being taken. I believe it was a text that went out from Charlie that Sethana got.
No, I called.
Oh, you called. That's right. I'm sorry.
We did group call.
Yes, you did do
call because, I'm a blind character who doesn't really text people.
Phones? You can text on phones. What are you talking about?
Sure.
Anyways, engaged in pursuit, Sethana was called and included in the circumstance, to which she stopped holding back, executed an amazing move where she imagined herself on a battlefield, and then crossing that battlefield on wings, found herself at the scene of the chase, where Henry had just caused a great big barrier to come up, and Charlie caught up and immediately engaged at ground level. The fight ensued. There was some exchange of gunfire and blows, and at the end of it, Henry swung in, came down, seeing Roz was threatened, stopped holding back, and pulled the heart out of the assailant. At that, the fight was over. There was a massive crowd surrounding them, and the crew made their escape. They found that Roz was passed out, that she was unconscious, that there was something going on. And after a bit of investigation, Henry and Sathana could not figure out anything other than it was of mystical means. Meanwhile, they take a little bit of downtime in an apartment as they're hiding from the cops. And that's where we kind of fade back in as, I believe it was on Roz's cell phone, a text came in from Juggy, letting them know that a new conversation or a new meeting was about to happen with Julia Sable. And so we sort of fade back into that moment. I believe we were at Henry's apartment at that point. I'm sorry, that was right. We were at Henry's apartment. I apologize. And so we sort of fade back in at Henry's apartment as this is all coming down.
So where does Jug say the meeting location is? Is it in the text?
Yeah, it's junkyard.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna say garbage, but junkyard.
It was at the junkyard, and it was supposed to be for later that night.
Okay. Right. Well, we don't know much about Julia Sable. We don't know what kind of business she runs. I feel like we need to get some information so we're not walking in there blind.
Yeah. On Roz's phone, there's a message from a guy named Cal. She asked him about why he was on her list. He seems to know that she's pretty dangerous. It's the only lead I have, other than maybe trying to use some... I mean, I don't have any police contacts. I don't have anything like that.
Well, I could give a call to my dad. He tends to do work with shady people, and I could see if he's worked with Miss Sables.
It's worth a shot. I mean...
I haven't spoken to my dad in about 5 years. Oh boy.
Do you think that calling him out of the blue about someone is going to set off some sort of suspicion?
Let's see. I feel like if I call him out of the blue, he's just not going to answer. He normally never does.
Question. We discussed before that there's a chance that Sandra knew him because he works in pharmaceuticals or something?
Yeah, he's one of the executives over at Helix Pharmaceuticals.
I mean, if it's easier, I could always put a call through to him.
No. I got this. And I pull out my phone and I call his office. It rings several times, and his assistant, Cherry, picks up the phone.
Did you say Sherry?
Cherry.
Cherry.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the name of what's your dad's first name?
His name is Amadeus. Amadeus Windsor, but he goes by Ami.
Okay, that's pretty bold and crazy. I love it. All right, so Sherry picks up and she says, "Mr. Windsor's office. How may I direct your call?"
Yes. Could you direct me straight to Mr. Amadeus Windsor's office? This is his son, Henry.
Henry, he's actually in a meeting right now. Can he give you a call back in a few minutes? I realize it's late, but this meeting has gone over. It's a contract negotiation.
I see. Well, you tell him that I'm in some dire trouble, and this is an emergency.
All right, Mr. Windsor, give me just a second as I kind of as I try to engage him. And you hear it go to hold music, and of course it's that terrible hold music from the elevator of.
You know, it's just this guy. He's like in his 20s, and he gets this one job making this epic guitar riff, and then like he gets his friend. He's like, dude, come in here. And he comes in with a sax and he just kind of blows a little bit, and then walks off, and then it just repeats the same riff for like 20 minutes. That was actually the hold music for my freaking college. At one point, they had me on hold for an hour, and I said, yeah, could you just put me on hold again? I actually really like that song. Thank you.
Oh my god.
So you're still on hold. It's taking a little bit of time. So
I kind of look at the others, and I'm like, 1 minute, one moment.
finally, she comes back. She's like, it's going to be 5 minutes. He's in the middle of something. He's going to call you back in 5 minutes.
Tell him that I'm bleeding out in the middle of an alleyway. I've just been stabbed repeatedly.
Mr. Windsor, the last time that you tried that didn't work as well.
Right. Okay, fine. Tell him to call me back immediately.
5 minutes, Mr. Windsor.
It wouldn't be the first time. And he immediately hangs up. Never mind. Dad is useless, as per usual.
Okay. So, what are options that we want to find about Sable before? I mean, Jugs apparently knows nothing about her. Is there anyone higher up we think we could maybe get hold of? Anyone's got...
I pull out my phone and I type in the goggles, Julia Sable, and I hit search.
Damn it, what? One of us Big Brother.
So wait a minute, you're using Sage to do basically a search on her to see what's available?
Yeah, because if she's big in corporate or a big name, I'm pretty sure they'll pull up something.
Okay. I feel like you're going to need to do an investigation roll here. Here's the thing.
There's no relative powers.
Well, that doesn't matter, right? You can do a straight investigation roll here, right? You don't have to apply. The thing is that, just as any Google search is going to work, a Sage search definitely needs to have the right, search terms and criteria in order to specify this. So I'm going to switch this over to game table because guess what, guys? #ProStreamer, I got the game table working with the dice.
Hell yeah.
Did you, or are we going to get over there? It's not going to work over
there. Watch it be perfect.
So let's do 50-50 odds.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
It kind of looks like it works, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, until the rolling happens, yeah.
Yeah, until the rolling, yeah.
Yep, exactly.
All right, we're gonna type in Sage, Julia, plus Sables, plus Executive, plus,
Evil.
No.
So I'm gonna ask this question because I'm gonna give you a story tag, which is going to give you a +1 in your favor because you actually specified search terms, which I think is kind of interesting because every time anybody else has done a Sage search, they haven't specified search terms. So I think that's +1 in your favor. Did Seth Anna try to contact Cal?
I'm just typing the text now.
Okay. So I'll just throw a random roll to give the +1.
So you would do it at the top, right? It's the power tag.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so positive status is 1. So he's doing Julia. He probably would say because he doesn't want anybody. He doesn't want Julia Roberts and a Sable cat to come up. So he'd probably do Julia Sables plus Executive plus Influence.
Okay.
Plus charities, plus just random things that she might be tied to. So it would come up with Julia Sable gives somebody to charity. So let's roll it.
Hold on just a second.
Oh,
go ahead and add an additional power tag or additional modifier at the top because of the transaction, the conversation going on between Sethana and Cal right now in the text channel.
Okay, then that 7 will be an 8.
Did it roll?
It rolled for me.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't. It didn't appear on the. That's weird. It did not appear inside of there. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this so that everybody can see it. Da, 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 da. Okay, so it's an 8. So that means you get with the 2 power tags, you get 2 clues to spend. You can spend them on 2 questions. So why don't you ask me those questions, and the results are going to be either vague or not complete truths.
Okay. Is Julia Sable connected to any foundation?
Is she connected to a foundation?
Like a company, or is she like a big donor for charity foundations? Is there anything like Julia Sables donates new gym to underprivileged children kind of deal?
No, she is not associated with a charity or any other type of charitable organization.
Okay.
She does happen to be an executive at Chow Industries.
Okay. I write that down on a note paper. She's an executive of Chow Industries. That's good. I'm gonna open it up to the table. What do you guys want to know? Because we know she's now an executive of Chow Industries, so that explains why she wants Lily Chow.
Mm-hmm.
Does it?
Well, like kind
It makes the connection.
Does it?
There's a connection. Yeah. Lily Chow, Chow Industries, and Julia Sable. She's an executive for Julia Sable, so there must be some kind of intrigue going on between her and Chow Industries.
To be fair, she might be trying to get Lily to control the father, but that's all speculation. Sorry.
Well, no, that's what I'm talking about.
There's some sort of connection there. We don't know exactly what it is, but it gives us a little more.
I'm loving the speculation, and here's why I'm loving the speculation, because it is all about the. You guys are you're taking shots that I didn't even expect you to be taking, so that's awesome. We're good.
Mm-hmm. So so we know she's now an executive of Chow Industries. She doesn't do anything for charity, so it nothing very public about her, right? The search never came up with anything public.
It's not necessarily that there's a lot. So you see that she's an executive of Chow Industries, and because she's an executive of Chow Industries, right? There's lots of press releases with her name on it. There are news articles about her rise to power, that kind of a thing. She's mentioned in the press, kit packets that are available. Seth Anna probably would have vaguely have heard of her or had dealt, kind of worked with her in some way, shape, or form, or worked in the same circles because she worked for the CEO of MCX. So.
Okay, so that gives me. I would like to read the article about her rise to power.
All right.
Can I wave my text message at him now?
Oh, sure.
This guy Cal, the one that Roz was texting, reckons if we go in, blind or not, we'd probably come out dead, but I've made my peace with that anyway. But apparently she killed Gerald Walker.
That's something new.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I have so many more questions for this guy, but...
Is she a champion? Like us?
Champion.
That's Henry's word for riffs. Like that, he will always refer to us as champions.
Oh, well, I wouldn't go so far as to call myself champion, but I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if this guy is. I don't know anything about him. Other than his name was on the list.
No. Julia Sables. Is she,
I don't know. How do I phrase it to a guy that I don't know if he's like us?
Well, maybe we.
Well, if he knows that Julia Sable's on if Julia Sable has a list and Rosalind is on the list, and we know that she has powers, and Lily Chow
is on the list and has
powers. So I would assume that he is either in the know or he too has powers.
I mean, the question is, do we trust him? Or is he also in cahoots with Sables?
I don't know.
If he was in cahoots with Sables, why would he text Rosalind to inform her that she's on a list?
Because he also cares about Roz.
Yeah.
Just because, you inform someone doesn't mean you're not also working with the person.
Right. Well, if we don't have a gist of if she's powered or not, we don't know how to deal with her because she has powers. That's going to change the dynamic of our meeting drastically.
We have to be so much more careful. We don't know what she can do if she is like us. I mean, I don't know how many of us are in this city.
Exactly. We got Charlie, who's this blind Avenger. We got Sathana, who's a battle seraph. And I create flora and heal people. And,
Roz was Roz.
Yeah. So, all right. I guess the thing is they wouldn't have anything about powers because we try to keep that secret. Most of the time, it seems like people just kind of don't notice when we do our abilities. Like, it's weird. All right. So, I think we can trust Cal. If he goes and informs Julia Sables, we will have a contingency for that.
Do you want me to ask more about her?
Yes, just ask if she is extraordinary.
You just use the word powers.
Yes, ask him if she has powers.
Because extraordinary could mean a lot of things.
I knew an extraordinary woman one time.
You're talking to two of them.
Yes, of course. And I
Smooth recovery.
So I'm like, there's an article here about Julia Sable's rise to power. Maybe that will give us some kind of insight of at least somewhat of her backstory, regardless if it's fabricated. So he opens up the article of Julia Sable's backstory and he begins reading it.
Question. I'm sorry, I was muted. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was muted for the stream. So to be clear, this is your second question. You're asking about her background.
Yeah, it regardless if it's fabricated or not, it just gives him something to be prepared with.
She started off straight out of college working for Chow Industries, doing marketing, but proved herself to be quite the negotiator in contracts. Surprisingly so that she was given a number of special projects, according to the article, outlining, acquisitions and that kind of a thing for Chow Industries, big business acquisitions, big business deals, she, left and right. No deal that was thrown into her, in front of her, no project that was thrown in front of her was not accomplished, according to the article. And it's a lot of, it feels like a fluff piece. And it lists a number of, acquisitions or special projects out there. It's as she's, as she rose through power, up to an executive level, she is now a VP of acquisitions.
Okay. So it gives a list of people that she's acquired businesses from?
It does give a small list of negotiations that she has accomplished and projects that she has completed that were publicly, the public was aware of.
Okay, so has she acquired any small businesses, basically? is what I'm asking. And if so,
That's a very vague question, and you
Oh,
are
okay.
you're hitting the limits of your second clue. So you could do
okay.
another investigation if you want more specific
Uh,
details, or you can kind of ask me a very specific question as
Very
a part
specific.
of that information. That way it still counts as your second clue.
Can I call any of the owners of these things that she's acquired?
The
Would I
list
be able?
the list definitely indicates that it's over a 20-year career period. So it would be the kind of thing where most of the things that they list are public knowledge or part of the press releases, and you know, if it's a small business kind of a thing, the acquisitions would be, you know, yeah, essentially the businesses would be completely absorbed at that point. There is an indication that she has done business with Acer Industries directly in respect to building a relationship with them, and that there was some interaction between their company or between Chow Industries and MCX as well.
Okay. I look at Acer Industries. I feel like I would have vague knowledge of Acer Industries because of my father being so up there in the executive thing.
You would probably have a little bit more information or a little bit more understanding about probably in the relationship, or you would know a little bit more about in the MCX deal versus the Acer Industries deal, given that the company your father works for is pharmaceutical.
Yeah, no. I would like to call up Acer Industries as under the guise that I am what are they called? A sensor, not censor. Somebody calls up and says, "Hey, we're going to award this person with a Lifetime Achievement Award. I would like to get some more information about her character." And noting that there's a list of people she's dealt with, maybe I can get a little bit more insight of what kind of person she is.
All right. So this also feels like a roll.
That's fine.
Here's what I'm envisioning between the two types of moves that this sounds like. This either is a convince or it's take a risk. The convince feels to me like it's a situation where you are looking to encourage the person on the phone specifically to give you that information. The take a risk feels more like you're trying to almost flag yourself, you know, for more information about this. Then maybe it gets back to Julia Sable, right? Either there's going to be an element of that going either or, right? But it feels it all depends. I guess it really depends on how you start the conversation. So why don't we let's actually start that conversation, and then we'll figure out where the roll comes in and that what makes more sense for a move wise. Unless you have some other idea about what you would want to do, you know, from a mechanical standpoint.
No, I think convince would work.
Okay.
I'm going to roll convince. I'm going to invoke a power tag, ebb and flow, so I can gauge the tension of this conversation. Try not to push too hard. Try and let up when I'm pressing for more information, kind of deal, and they're resisting, kind of deal.
Okay.
And I think that's the only power tag that really applies in this situation.
Okay.
So he's going to call up, and he's going to be like, "Hi, I'm a census agent for the city. We want to award Ms. Julia Sables with a Lifetime Achievement Award. My name is Adam Kane. I'm calling because there's so much information about Julia Sables out in the public, but I want to know firsthand, like, impressions or basically if you could give me more information about what kind of person Ms. Sables really is, something that wouldn't be fluff in the press, something that's more personal, more true.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm going to have to direct you to our public relations department. Can you please hold?
Ah, yes.
Cue the shitty music.
Do 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 do.
Hi, this is Eileen Dweller. What can I do for you, sir?
Ah, yes, I'm a census agent, and I go through the whole spiel again. I'm just looking for more character references of the real Julia Sables. There's so much information out there. We want to honor her with a Lifetime Achievement Award, but I feel like if we get some true, honest insight of Julia's character, we could possibly make this really an honor.
Sir, we actually haven't had any direct dealings with Miss Sable for about 5 years. I can pull some records, but you're with what organization again?
I'm with the city council. We want to honor Ms. Sables for her dedication and work in the city.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now roll your convince.
Okay.
And let's switch over to the game table. Hey, look at that. Game table.
Great success. 11.
11. And
That's great.
Nice.
Hold on. I don't see why it's doing this. Okay. So, great success. Do you want to convey a power tag, or do you want to change their agenda? Because they appear to be kind of pushing you off.
I want to change their agenda.
Okay.
I want to change their agenda to help me at least send over maybe some transcripts if they had like some kind of scribe in the acquisition or something. Or basically, I want somebody to call me and give me character reference, as if like I was somebody calling up for character reference for a job interview.
You hear Irene sort of, kind of hem and haw for just a minute, and she's like, okay, listen, I'm going to have to do some background research on this and see if I can, bring somebody up who might more directly know. The dealings that I had with Miss Sable were, again, 5 years ago, and my records, are very clinical, I guess I would say, or very, very formal. Maybe I can get you to talk to somebody specifically. Can I take your name and phone number and have them call you back?
Ah, yes. My name is Adam Kane, and you can reach me at 555-8019.
Thank you, Adam. We'll get back to you shortly. Click.
You too. And I click. I look over at...
And your phone
Savannah.
rings.
Oh.
It's your father.
One moment, Savannah. I actually have some information that would be helpful if you could find out. And I click over. Hey, Dad.
What is it now, Henry?
Well, I just want to let you know that I am going on a full bender, and I am dropping out of med school. Also, I would like to know some information. If you do have any of a Ms. Julia Sables, I was offered a job for her, and I don't know anything about her, and I'm rather interested.
Why are you dropping out of med school again, Henry? This is the third time I've gotten a call like this.
Dad, I just want to be like Mom. I want to go live on the commune, and deal with herbal remedies. None of this new age Western medicine. Gouging the poor to make a quick buck.
You hear a big, heavy sigh on the other end, as if this is a conversation that has happened before. Henry, this has put you through college. My pharmaceutical job, the work that I do, has taken care of you for your entire life. It gives your mother the ability to do whatever she wants, Henry, it's important to me that you continue with your medical training. You're destined to be a doctor.
All right, Dad. Okay. I understand that. But you know
what is this about? But what is this about a job with Julia Sable?
I am, I'm graduating at the end of the summer. I've finished most of my hours, and I have to take an intern job. And I've been offered a position over at Chow Industries working for Julia Sables directly. I just don't know anything about her. Do you have any information about, like, I don't know, who is she?
She's a brutal negotiator, and I don't like her at all. Anytime she comes to the table, she wins. I'm not sure how, but she does.
Is there anything otherworldly about her?
Have you been watching too many movies and getting stoned again, Henry?
I wish. Unfortunately, for some reason, the marijuana doesn't take as well as it used to.
Convince him.
Ebb and flow. I'm going to roll medical student because I said I would stay in school.
Okay, that makes complete sense.
And I'm going to do student and master because I'm talking to my father.
Have you ever had that relationship with him?
Once. The backstory is it was Amadeus, Henry's mother, Henry's sister, and then him. They were happy for a while, and then Henry's grandfather died and left Amadeus with the company.
Mm-hmm.
His mother said, if you go back to that company, I'm divorcing you, because your father was a brutal man who gouged the poor and the sick for a quick buck, and I will have nothing to do with you. And he said, I'm going to do this. This is best for the family. Goes and takes the job, which cracked unintentionally the relationship between Henry and his father, because they used to be really close, but there has been so much time with Henry living with his mother that, like, he hasn't been able to really reconnect with it. And the fact that this medical student and this job in the medical field is the only way he can truly find some avenue of connection to his dad.
Okay. All right. Then roll it.
Okay. Great success.
Wow. RNG is your friend today. Okay.
I guess.
Listen, what I know about Julia is this. Outside of the negotiation table, she doesn't have much of a life. She works the type of work that she does over the last 10 or 15 years as she moved into negotiations and doing very aggressive business deals, is that she was a go-getter and an acquirer of the rarest of deals. She could convince anybody to do anything, and it's not clear why. Some would say, Henry, that she has mystical powers, that she can bedazzle, but I don't even know where to begin with describing it. Other than when she gets to the table, nobody can out negotiate her. So be careful working for her, because she will probably convince you to do things that you don't even want to do there.
That is wonderful information, Father. Thank you so much. Give my love to Cherry, and use protection. Click.
Did you just give sass to your dad?
He gave us a very juicy bit of information. Now, before we get to that, Sathana, she is done dealing with MCX. I was wondering if you could go and see if you can dig up those old dealings and see if there is anything about her. From what I'm told is she is very convincing, very persuasive. She can make you do things you wouldn't normally want to do. And like Henry immediately bolts over to his bookcase, and he starts going through his bookcase, and he pulls out a comic book. He's like, not too different than number 48 of Power Man, who fought the dreaded Siren from the old tales of Odysseus.
Well, according to Rose's friend Cal, have you ever seen a movie called American Werewolf in London? Or maybe the other way around, I don't remember.
Oh, I love that movie. Yes!
Yeah, except someone who can control her powers is really, really happy to use it. And he keeps talking about claws and being ripped to shreds. So, does that fit in with what you know? Because I haven't really read comics, so...
Well, sirens are supposed to be very beguiling and alluring, and then when they draw sailors in, they grow monstrous qualities and eat them. So maybe
or a siren. No, the other one. Succubus.
Succubus. That's a demon that feeds off of the sexual energies. Other than that, there's nothing more than I know. What it sounds like is she has, if she has powers, they're very auditory powers. And I guess if we're going to confront her, we need some kind of sound dampening,
or
like earplugs.
I mean, we could take earplugs with us. It probably won't be too difficult. Hide, probably a bit weird, but not too difficult. Or
guys, if I can't hear, I can't see.
Yeah, I understand that.
I would be useless in this situation.
If it's more scientific, if it's at a frequency that when the human hears it.
Stop a minute. What are we talking about doing here? I mean, I don't want to go in blind, but we seem to be assessing as to whether or not we can take her down. Don't we just want to get information from her about what happened to the missing sister?
She's kidnapping people. She probably is the one who sent those men after Rosalind. She's tried to kidnap Lily Chow. She is a danger in this city, and I'm going to see if I can not take her down, but find a way to apprehend her and bring her to justice.
Okay, that's good, but okay, so we're not actually planning on just like ripping her head off, because that gets us nowhere.
I
just want to make sure we're all on the same page here. We're not in there with the intent to kill her. We're in there with the intent to get information and take her into holding or put her into the police custody. I don't know. I don't know if they can hold her from the things that this guy's like. He seems bloody terrified at the idea.
Yeah, well, if we can find a way to do it, then we should try to do it. I'll try not to kill her. Try being the operative word.
I still think we should go talk to Juggy before we make any decisions.
Oh, definitely, but we just need to be prepared, because if we go and try to talk to her, and she tries to dominate our will, then we're basically useless, because she can just turn us into puppets, and if she's after powered people, champions, we are walking in and giving her 3.
How about we don't walk in with 3?
I mean, if you guys are talking about going in with some sort of earplugs, I can't. I would actually be blind.
I know.
Yeah, so maybe I watch from wherever you guys are.
Yes, you
further away.
You could, yes, because I don't know if it's a frequency that if heard could subject your will to hers, or whether or not it's just mental persuasion.
It could also be like a distance thing, like how far away she is
Well-
from you. Not be anything auditory at all. It could be pheromones.
Yeah, I was gonna say it could be pheromones.
But if you're worried about taking 3 people with powers in, or champions, whatever the hell you want to call us, let's not do that. Let's
Okay.
have someone. I mean, Charlie, you're really good at this hiding and moving around stuff. Maybe you ought to be hiding around, and that gives us some sort of backup in case we need an ace up our sleeve that she may not be aware of. We
Good.
Can give it a try. I mean, we're just there to get information, right? In
Of
theory.
course, we are definitely there to get information.
All right, so let's make that priority number 1, and everything else comes with it. I think, to be honest, if you're thinking she may be some sort of siren, is there
I mean,
anything-
worst case scenario, gag her.
that too.
Hmm.
Well, I think Cal probably says some sort of muzzle, but yeah.
I can gag her with a vine.
There you go. I mean, I can always I know if she's really this all-powerful being who's done a lot of horrible stuff. I mean, this cow guy seems to reckon that she killed the walker. Maybe I can make her see that. I've had kind of experience in making that work before.
All right. So we just need. Let's see. We just need to be prepared for anything.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay.
Odysseus told his men to take earwax and plug their ears and tie him to the mast. And no matter how hard he screamed, not to let him freeze. So that's why I thought maybe some kind of sound dampening equipment would work.
Let's get some earplugs, because you can. Let's do it.
Also, try not to make eye contact with her. I don't know. Some people, some cultures believe they're windows to the soul.
Okay, I think walking in to meet her at night wearing sunglasses may be a bit dodgy, but
Oh, I'm talking about maybe look above her head, not at her eyes.
all right. Okay.
Just I'm being over prepared. I'm sorry.
No, there's
And
absolutely no problem being overprepared. I mean, if we're going in for, other than you guys haven't really got anyone powers other than Lily, this is really new. So,
Right. Okay. Well, text Juggy and say that we will meet him. And I guess we're going after Sable. Grand.
oh, maybe we should go check out the place before we actually get there.
Yes. The junkyard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
Right.
go check that out first. I mean, we're probably, like, as knowledge pros we're probably going to get, other than, oh, there's a magic silver bullet that would do the job. Which
Well, maybe
actually
we.
really is aware of. That may be a good thing.
Well, yeah, maybe from Juggy we can find out some form of weakness she has, or something about where she's going to be.
Okay, I'll
Yes.
get a time and a proper exact location, and I'll ask if there's anything about her. I assume he's about to run for the hills. Who knows?
I mean,
Okay.
maybe even ask this Cal person if there's anything that.
It's
her.
just a titanium shock net.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Everything he sends is just to stay away, and that we're not ready and equipped to deal with her. He's pretty fucking scared.
Well, he can be scared and a baby and go home, and we'll fucking do this.
Well, if it does turn to get too over our heads, we could always make a tactical advancement in the opposite direction.
Right. We can just get out of here.
Exactly. All right. Let's go.
All right. I text Juggy the appropriate questions of where, what, any weaknesses you know of. Phrase slightly better than that. And I think we're gonna go check out where the hell the junkyard is.
Well, so here's the interesting thing from that. If you guys don't remember from the conversation, Juggy didn't really know much about Sable other than he had the contact information and that she was somebody not to be messed with, and that anybody who had messed with her ended up uncomfortable or gone. So that's the kind of information that you would have in before, engaging Juggy
He did say that if she killed somebody, that she would also try to go after them in death or something. I remember that from being the table talk. So.
Mm-hmm. So, the response that you get from Juggy basically involves a time and a place. She's supposed to be at the junkyard at 10 o'clock tonight, and that it's supposed to be closed, and that only alley cats will be allowed there.
Do we still have the alley cat jacket?
No.
No.
I feel like our leather jackets are good enough.
Well, we could hide out in the bathroom.
Yeah.
All right. So, what exactly are you doing here after you get these texts back from Juggy?
Henry's just kind of preparing himself. He's going through and seeing if he can mix up some kind of potent smelling brew, like herbal brew, that if it is pheromones, it would probably counteract whatever pheromones she's excreting. Like, what is it? What was it, that thing in Holes? The snake wouldn't bite, or the lizard wouldn't bite somebody if it smelled like onions on them, kind of deal. Like the book Holes. So he's making something like that it probably won't smell pretty, but if it came to like a ratio of whose pheromone is stronger, this one would at least try to beat it out.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Okay, so let's, rather than it be a downtime montage, let's call that a change of the game.
Okay. He's going to use Briar Defense, because this is floral defense. These are all herbal things that he picks from his garden.
Okay.
He's going to use medical student, because some of these are used in medicine. And I think that's all that applies.
Do we help? Could I give him some sort of, like, from my new sneaky ass playbook?
Okay.
Could I perhaps like give him some sort of insight from Odin? Like,
What kind of insight?
like an insight onto maybe what kind of attack she might use against us, since she's so. Like, for example, if she is some sort of pheromone excreting thing, then maybe I'll be able to get an insight on how that works, and therefore come up with some, or give him advice on how that, it could be countered. Or if she's using an audible thing, whether that's the thing that she's going to try and attack us with, and we should use, focus our attention on something else. So
That's okay. So that's a lot of supposition. There's a lot of assumptions in that assist. Everything that Henry is doing right now is based on that supposition, based on your conversation that you think this is the way that she's going to attack you, or the way that she's going to manipulate the situation. It's almost like reaching to say that there would be any information about that particular element of her. I could see an argument for, instead, maybe there's some general information that might battle awareness that Odin or any of the other Norse gods might actually have of her. versus it being very specific about a very specific element of a very specific detail about this particular person that you guys don't have any confirmation of. Like, you know that she's bedazzling. You know that she's manipulating the situation when she's there. You don't know how she's doing that, and so it seems like there's a lot of drive towards that. So maybe more general, maybe a general kind of battle awareness versus a very specific assumption, and I could see that applying. So yes, you can take that assist, Henry.
Okay, sweet. Let's change this game. Great
Wow.
success.
You are rolling well right now.
It's the quantum roller, really. It's not me.
You know, it's funny. I had a conversation this weekend at. We didn't get to go to PAX, but we got to go to another con this weekend. I was having a conversation with somebody. Let me put this down on screen so everybody can see it. It's for the great success. But the quantum roller is just it's way too much success and failure, and it's because it's so
It's
perfect.
one or the other. It's not in the middle. Not
Right, because it's so perfect. Like they need to adapt the algorithm so that it actually spreads it out a little bit more. That was the gist of the conversation, because true randomness is really a bad choice. Okay, so with that great success, you have 2 power tags. Actually, there should have been 3 power tags there, because there was the 2 that you used plus Sathana's 1.
Yeah, and I did put a positive. I guess didn't calculate in.
So sometimes if you don't click off of that area and click onto someplace else,
yeah.
I've noticed that about with Roll20 that happens. Okay, so you can spend the juice based on. So don't go on what's in the that there. Go on what's in the character sheet or in the handout for moves.
Okay.
And there are a number of things that you can do. So you've got great success. So that means the first power tag that you spent becomes 2 instead of 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have 2 additional power tags for a total of 4.
All right. So, I'm going to make this. Let's see. It's going to be a paste, kind of like how you would put wasabi paste underneath your nose when you have stuffy nose.
Okay.
Kind of deal. It's going to be a paste that goes behind your ears that emits this disgusting rancid smell.
Oh,
Okay, so is this... You're using this as you're creating a story tag specifically for this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's supposed to, if there's any kind of smell that she exudes, this thing, like, it's the idea of people can smell that you smell bad, but you can't smell that you smell bad. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's kind of that kind of deal where it's just in your face.
Having been a sweaty
it's-
teenager, I remember that exactly.
Yeah, it's in your face. So, are you going to say, was I ever smelling bad?
no, I was not, because I wore deodorant starting before, like...
That is not that I wasn't implying that it was you, Sam. God.
Yeah, because you were a smelly teenager.
I was.
Get out of here.
I was. I'm sorry.
Good.
Anyways.
So it's creating almost like just a smell barrier, really. I'm going to scale up the effect, as in, 1 to create this paste, 2 to scale up the effect so I make enough for all 3 of us
Okay.
to have.
Oh,
Okay.
That's going to be bad on Charlie's senses.
Yeah, it is, actually, because she's got heightened senses.
Yeah.
So this
I may
will
not
have...
be able to see, but it's going to affect my senses.
Well, so let me ask you this question, Henry, because that actually makes a really good point.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie's senses are heightened, right? Her touch, her smell, her hearing, even your taste would probably be able to,
my taste is, yeah.
right?
And it would be like, so if it's strong, it would be like, it would be so like strong in my smell that I could taste it, and then my taste bud, like, I think Charlie will use it, but it's also going to be the kind of thing where I'm always going to have that sensory overload.
I think
power,
it is.
like,
I think it's gonna engage your weakness. If you intentionally apply it, it's definitely going to engage your weakness.
Yeah.
And I think Henry knows that she has heightened senses, and that's why she in particular, if it's a sound, a smell, or something like that, it can really affect her the most, and like really, put her in the clutches of Sable.
Well, so with that, that's specifically affecting Charlie. So because her entire power set is based on like her senses.
Mm-hmm.
The question that I would have, an extension to that, is Henry is a man of nature, right? He's essentially there's a fair amount of what he does that is tied to nature. So in some cases, his senses as well would overwhelm him and potentially be a negative.
I feel like because these are natural herbs, these aren't anything synthetic, really.
So it'd be like smells like garlic and like other things that would be overwhelming.
He probably would. I'll use a power tag to create a aftertaste or an after smell, really, on Charlie's specific batch of any smell, because I'll open up to Charlie, that smells kind of good to her, like
Lucky
in this.
Charms.
Yeah, so like, have you ever eaten something and it's like, ooh, that's really potent, and then you kind of like
smell it?
No, you eat it, and then it has that nice aftertaste that makes you want to go in for another bite, kind of deal.
Garlic fries.
Okay, garlic fries. So,
but it's gonna smell like Lucky Charms to her. So mash up some Lucky Charms in there.
Yeah, so he'll do that, and that will be his third juice. And
okay, so describe to me perfectly again what that in a concise statement what that third juice is.
Okay, is smashing up Lucky Charms into the into Charlie's paste, so it has that nice little after smell,
hiding the effect.
Hiding effect. So
okay, and you have one more juice to spend.
He's gonna add some herbs that will not diffuse, because sometimes if it smells, it'll eventually kind of lose its potency. He's going to prolong the effect.
Okay.
So, it'll probably last a good...
It'll last the entire scene when you guys get in there.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. So once you've created your smelly stuff in the time that you have before, and it's about 7 or 8 o'clock at night when you guys kind of are doing this, that's what Henry's engaged in doing, and convincing Charlie and Sathana that really it doesn't smell bad, guys. You should just dab it behind your ears, right? That's the conversation I'm imagining that's happening.
Yeah, along those like, how come hers smells like Lucky Charms? You could at least make mine smell like some bourbon or something. Come on.
Because she has super sensitive hearing and smell, and she is the detriment. She right then would probably be the most weakest out of both of us, because anything that Sable exudes, she can smell it at a greater power, and anything that she says at a certain frequency, she'd be able to hear it at a greater power. As to us, we're just mundane in comparison. But I guess I could put a little bourbon into it, but it might make it kind of soupy and drip down your neck and get into places that you wouldn't want to stink.
Like around the area where this is, and just under my nose, because I'm like, I can't. I just add the bourbon.
Okay, well, it might dilute the effect, but okay.
I don't know. Have you had this? This stuff is, wow.
I tend not to drink. It tends to make the control not as. I can't control myself.
Yeah, sorry. Probably should have guessed that.
Okay, so with all of that, that's what Henry's doing at this point. What are Charlie and Sathana doing while he's doing that?
I mean, Charlie would probably take the paste but not put it on yet, because she doesn't know if she needs it yet. And probably just be sitting at the TV, listening to her Saturday morning cartoons, even though it's probably not Saturday. Beans and Lucky Charms.
She's found my box set of Teen Titans.
Yeah. Oh my god, yes.
And all you hear is Cyborg, booyah!
And Beast Boy just complaining.
Yeah.
Because
The episode
Cyborg.
of them playing like video games and yeah.
Yep.
Dude.
Okay.
I probably would spend most of the day having texted Cal just backwards and forwards and checking things up. That's probably her day. Other than heavily drinking because this is a really stupid idea.
It's not that stupid. Like,
What's stupid about it? Just out of curiosity.
Well, everyone that she meets dies, or everyone she meets gets suddenly charmed into doing what they're doing. Do we really want to go to bat for these people that we don't know? No, yeah, I mean, they may have had something to grasp, but that's only guessing. Why the hell not? That's the drinking.
Okay. All right. So time passes. How are you guys going to the junkyard? I mean, let's set the scene, guys.
what time of day is it?
Oh, it's been the early evening at Henry's.
Henry would probably switch into something more. I want to say modest, but more like covering.
Not scrubs.
Not scrubs. He's going to wear like a long sleeve flannel, not flannel, but like a plaid shirt with jeans and stuff, specifically to hide the effect that he wants to protect himself. So he's going to add a layer of briar armor from his wrists to right where his collarbone is, to his ankles and stuff, just as like Kevlar, basically.
So I said this in chat. I'm just gonna mention this on stream, just because. When has it ever worked when you totally plan out and prepare in a tabletop game that it's made everything work well for you? No. So you don't get to do that because your plans always work, which is scary. I don't get it. I don't get it. You don't get to.
That's because she plans well.
Blades in the Dark was. I was told to play a criminal. I played a criminal who
And it was amazing.
and it was about stealing things and not getting caught. So that's how that went. This one's more just sheer stupidity and drinking. So what seems like a really good idea at the time just happened to be a really good idea at the time.
Okay. I wanted to bring that up because, and you are the exception to the rule so far, but I'm.
Hey,
so
I stole a car and it worked out well.
That was impulsive.
No, it went well.
Work too.
It was impulsive, and Henry is doing all this prep right now, and that I'm only raising it because it's just like there's so much prep going on in the situation. But so as you put on this you armor yourself up. Take us to the scene, guys. Take us to the junkyard. How do you guys get there? What's going on?
How far is the junkyard from Henry's apartment?
You live in blue collar district, right?
Yeah, it would be the better part of town to live in.
Right. So you would be across town, from blue collar to, across downtown into Tinseltown, which is where the junkyard is.
Okay, so we get into a taxi, not an Apollo character.
No.
We go to a nice city-funded transportation. We'll take a bus. We're not taking a bus.
I don't think Charlie's ever ridden the bus.
I guarantee Charlie hasn't, but anyways.
Well, she's a rich kid. She takes the private Apollos everywhere.
I look at Charlie and this is going to be so much fun. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to walk up the stairs into this bus, and I'm giving you this very special token. You're going to drop this token into a change box.
So this is a quarter, and I'm going to put the quarter in the thing.
It's not a quarter. It can only be used for the bus. But other than that, it's going to be great. Just don't sit in the front seats because that's where the hobos bathe, and don't sit in the back seat because that's where people get their funk everywhere.
But actually, just much better if we just stand.
Yeah, and hold on to the railing. But wash your hands before you get off because it's rather disgusting. Because
Phrasing.
Exactly.
Because phrasing.
Because phrasing. That was. I'm just sorry. It's been a running thing. Anyways. And so you really take Charlie. You really take Charlie on her first bus ride. This is interesting.
Yeah, we're taking
So
the
I'm
bus.
like that little kid that. Okay.
Everyone's like, "Are you ready to go to the bus ride?" And she's like deadpan, like, "What?"
Basically.
I need
Yeah,
to drink. To make
let's
this situation
take-
palatable. This is just not right.
Totally not right is what it is. All right.
Amazing though.
So
I look at Charlie. Oh, and when we get close to the junkyard, you can pull the little wire above the window that tells the bus driver you want to get
Henry,
off.
mansplaining, just knock it off.
I'm just, this is, I always like to take the bus or Vines, but I don't feel like that's appropriate.
okay, so you enjoy your first bus ride, Charlie, and you
Do I enjoy it?
I don't know. Do you?
that was more sarcasm and snark than real true humor, because if anything happens on the bus, you're going to be senses overload because it smells really bad. It smells worse than whatever it is that Henry concocted.
Should we just be throwing a bus at her instead? Like, come, please, let's conduct this meeting inside a bus. You think we could convince her to do that?
I think you totally could.
Alright, on it.
All right, so you get across town. You find yourself about a block away from the junkyard. It's about 9:30. How do you guys proceed?
She's gonna be here in 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Do we see Juggy?
No.
No. Okay. Now,
I'm gonna look around. This kind of like, sorry. So, do we want to hide until she turns up, or do we just want to be there and just upfront about the fact we are looking for her? Want to have this conversation? Because I think subterfuge is only going to get us so far.
I feel like if this bar is going to be shut down for a private thing and it's only going to be alley cats, I feel like we should hide somewhere in the building, like a bathroom stall, even though that's kind of disgusting. But
Wait, I have a question.
I've hidden in plenty of bathrooms before, so it's fine. I'm also really good at breaking out of them.
That's why did you need to break out of a bathroom stall, Charlie?
Because you were in a police station and it was under lockdown because of you, so I had to break out of a bathroom.
Did you get any information from Ms. Devereaux while you were there at the police station?
No.
I see. And I escaped with at least some modicum of information, correct?
Yeah, but
You
then
lost-
you had all the police after you, Henry.
Mhm,
if you
Which
remember.
now I'm probably going to pay the price for her. So
Okay. Well, as long as we get Julia Sables, I'm pretty sure we can ask for amnesty.
That's trying strong on the cop. And saying we're not going to give you a wanton murderer, criminal, whatever the hell she is. Yeah, I don't see that going down well, but we'll give it a try. Maybe they'll give me some sort of leniency.
I'm sure if I can break out of a bathroom really easy, I can break right back into one.
All right, let's go find somewhere to hide.
Okay. Henry goes and hides in the male bathroom in one of the stalls.
When you try to enter the junkyard, it's locked. The door is locked and it's closed.
Right. Well then.
I walk around the back until I find one of the bathroom windows.
Okay.
Can I hear anyone in it? Should I roll?
No, this is the kind of situation where you find both the bathrooms and nobody is in them at this time.
I suggest, Henry, we all hide in one bathroom instead of 2 bathrooms.
Okay. I wouldn't want to invade your privacy.
Oh no, we're invading yours.
So we all head into the guy's bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Grand. And I look up at the window, and I send like a vine creeps its way up, grows like little nibs that are like can-like, and they try to like jimmy the window open without smashing the window.
Yeah, Charlie was just gonna smash.
Sneak around. I'm gonna need a sneak around roll.
Briar obstacles.
I would love you if you rolled a 1 and then it was just like smash.
Ebb and flow.
Would you actually love him?
It was well, I'd be like taking one out of Charlie's playbook. Woo!
Anyways,
All
okay.
right. Sneak around. Mild success.
Mild success. Okay, so with a sneak around, it's a mild success, but something else actually happens as a part of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Things get a little messy. So there's going to be a hard bargain or an ugly choice. The hard bargain is you succeed, but there's a guy in the stall that Charlie did not hear, passed out drunk, who hears that noise.
That's rude. I was gonna roll.
And what's the
The ugly choice is you can either get into the bathroom, but there's going to be, it's going to be difficult for you to get out of the bathroom. Like there's going to be some situation that's going to cause you a problem, or you can go into the women's bathroom, which appears to be in disrepair and has horrible plumbing problems.
Excuse me, women's bathrooms are normally 100 times better than men's bathrooms.
You are dealing with the alley cats, and their dive bar, the junkyard.
I'll take the guys passed out in the stall.
Yeah, that sounds like a better.
Okay. All right. So you hear you see the vine kind of going, and you hear it kind of rattling a little bit, and it finally pops open, and the vine kind of pushes it out enough for you to hear, and from inside you're what was that? And one of the doors to the stalls kind of opens up and kind of looks around.
You know what? Charlie's gonna go in immediately and knock this guy out.
So you're gonna jump through the window. You're gonna slide through the window and basically kind of.
I'm gonna do like a running jump up, slide through, and while I'm coming down, I want to kick him in his face.
Okay.
I was just going to wrap a vine
No.
around his artery and kind of put him in a sleeper hold, but okay.
No.
All right. Well, Charlie, you were doing this, so talk to me about your character.
Okay, let's look. Let's look what I can use. So, why won't my character sheet become bigger? There it goes.
Because it doesn't like you.
Power tags. Senses the finest details. Perfect short range target. Martial arts, outgoing agility. My weakness tag for one of my playbooks is gone, and I don't remember what it was.
They recently, I guess, changed the format. Because that happened to me, where I had all my weaknesses, and then they were all jammed into one weakness tag.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll just need to reformat it.
Yeah. I just don't remember. Oh, this one was ignores danger.
So ignores danger, I think, is going to apply here.
Yeah.
So, looking at the character sheet, you can now add and remove additional weakness tags. They're terrible.
I mean, that's kind of nice, but also, so it's 3 plus 3.
Okay, so roll it.
And what should I roll?
This sounds like either take a risk or hit him with all you got.
Hit him with all you got. 13, great success.
Well, geez, Charlie. thanks for making this really easy on you guys and making it difficult for me. Gosh, jeez.
Well, I'm awesome.
You are awesome. All right, so hit him with all you got. Has a couple of different effects, especially with a great success, right? So you can choose two of the following. You can take cover or secure a superior position, which means that you won't take any damage. Or you want to go ahead?
I'm going to secure position of the bathroom.
Okay.
And I'm going to... Why do I only get 2 instead of 3? Because I have +3 on power.
Because with hit 'em with all you got, you can choose two of the options there. It's not not a direct 1-to-1 based on the powers like change the game. It's more focused on each of those bullet points are really like strong circumstance changes for you. Like they're significant event changes for you and for the
Team. Should we put a tier 1 level or like a +1 tier on him, or should there be no collateral damage, as in no one hears us?
No one hears us.
Okay, then no collateral damage.
So you're going to secure the bathroom and so no one hears you. You're basically hiding the effect. So when you come in and you're kicking him, right?
Yeah, I kick him in the face. So like, you know how the windows like normally pop up and out? Like,
yeah.
I would grab onto the window and like slide my feet through first.
Okay.
And like kick him in the head as I'm doing that.
Okay. And so he kind of goes down, right? And you kind of roll in, you land with your back to the door, kind of facing him as he's just kind of stunned right there. You've secured the position and nobody else has heard anything because you were so silent, and you knocked him, and he's beginning to kind of get up as he's just kind of disoriented at this point.
I'm gonna hit him again.
All right. And you're gonna hit him with all you got again?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Same power tags. Because, yeah. 11.
Same situation. You get 2 of those.
Team, what should we do? Because I've already secured the position, and there's no collateral damage. So tier 1 knockout, maybe?
Yeah, and also maybe putting them out of the way so that if someone does come to take a leak or something, even though we may be secured inside like a stall, if you get him in a place where he can't then be seen, he's out of the way, which will probably help us out.
Is there a cleaning closet in this bathroom?
Yes,
so that would be gaining an advantage on the battlefield, because would that be?
Like if it's in your ability, move them. They are out of the way.
Yeah, I see that. So I'm gonna move him to like some sort of supply closet, and then I'm going to put a tier 1 knocked out on there.
Okay. Well, it's actually going to be tier 4 because you used there's a +3 power on that, and it goes tier 4, and he's knocked out. He's knocked out.
He's coma fucking toast.
I didn't break anyone's arm this time. I don't see why this is such a problem.
You didn't kidnap any children, so we're doing much better.
I did not kidnap. How old is this kid?
He's a couple years older than Charlie, so probably 21 or 22.
Okay, cool. So, older than me, not a child, did not kidnap this time.
Yeah.
Multitude's better.
Okay, so the rest of you are able to kind of make it in as Charlie is securing this guy and just kind of, pushing him into the closet. How do you want to go from here?
I mean, we're just waiting on them to turn up now, right?
Does he have an alley cat jacket on?
He does.
I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it on. I look at them and I say, I will go and meet her, and if it gets too rough, you guys can come back me up.
Doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Are you so sure you want to go in there alone?
Remember last time you stuck thorns into that kids like.
All right, that was a bit of prejudice on my end. He was in a gang. They're hooligans. I'm still dealing with the gang war that happened 4 years ago.
Right. Question: we've been to these kind of like divey bars before, right? Where the alley cats have been.
You've been to this dive bar before. You're the one who prevented the fight the last time.
I was in this place.
That's
Yeah.
the same bar.
Yeah, we're in the same bar. That's the problem.
Oh,
Like-
then. Oh, that's the problem. Oh, why?
But didn't we have a power tag that
We did. Yeah.
lasted here? We had a power tag that had an effect that stayed localized to this place.
You prolonged the effect. Yeah, I can't remember what it was though.
It
I think it was chill.
Yeah, it was
or
like
something
chill.
similar.
It was like calm. So
Because we were like, everyone should be drinking instead of fighting.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. In that case, I think I vaguely remember that there were people here who weren't alley cats. Oh no, wait, no, it's shut down for alley cats only. All right, okay.
Oh.
That's right. It was shut down for alley cats only at this point.
Look, I'm just going to keep to the back booth. I'm not even going to drink. Maybe she'll notice me and come over and think that I'm the one who is facilitating the deal with Lily Chow. I'll take the booth over by the bathroom so you can hear everything.
I mean, I can hear everything anyway.
We've only got one jacket. I mean, to be fair, I don't know how long that ruse will last.
Unless you send 2 other people in here. And I take them out, and I take their jackets.
What about the dude who's passed out? Does he have a jacket?
What?
They just took that.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were bringing one with you. All right, never mind.
So, unless he's like, man, where'd that one guy go? I saw him go into the bathroom like 20 minutes ago, and he hasn't come out. You should probably go check on him.
If that is the case, then yes, sure, knock him out.
Hey, do you know if there are any other staff here, Charlie? Like right now?
I'm gonna listen in. I'm gonna listen in hard. Let's do this.
Let's call that an investigate.
Yeah, I'm gonna investigate. Alright. So, sensing the finest details, I'm filtering out noise. Yeah, I think that's the only 2. I only have 2 for this.
Okay.
Yes. And I don't think any of my weakness tags apply because
No, you're in a secure place. You're not exposed. You're not taking a risk at all. Yeah, everything
Great
just
success.
great success. Okay, let me switch over to the table again. Another great success. So you use 2 power tags. You get essentially 2 clues, which means you can ask me 2 questions.
What was the first question we asked?
Staff. Are there any staff here?
Oh yeah, is there any staff here?
Yeah, there's a couple of people behind the bar. 2 bartenders that you can hear mixing drinks, and there appears to be 1 bar back that's heading back and forth between a place in the back. The room or the bar proper, essentially the bar that you guys have been in before. There's a lot of activity going on in there. There's appears to be a lot of
Okay.
people in there.
So there's staff. Should I ask if I can hear Sable?
Yes. Ask.
Yeah. Do I hear, someone in charge that sounds like a woman?
No, you do not. You do not hear anybody. So what I would assume is that you would have heard some of the video that during
I would have heard.
When Henry was doing his research, like some of the video interviews that he was picking up as he was doing his Sage research. So you would know what Julia Sable's voice sounds like. You do not hear her.
Okay, guys. So there is a lot of people out there, but I don't hear Sable's.
Good.
Okay.
That'll give me some time to blend in.
All right.
So I
Worst comes to worst, I can always try and take place in one of the staff, but
of course, and I
careful.
Is there a skylight, like on the roof?
Yes.
So like if I got on the roof, I could look down into the
Look
bar.
down into the. You could not look down into
Well,
it.
I mean, like I could like listen in
Oh,
down
yeah.
to the bar and like break through it if necessary.
Oh yeah, I'm a little surprised that you guys didn't do a little bit more investigation in that respect. There's a couple.
What? We had a plan. You were getting on us for planning too much, and now you're like, "What you guys doing this week?" Okay.
No, you had a plan and you executed and you got in there. That's not what I was saying. I was saying that it felt like there was too much planning going on. But whatever, it's all good.
Well, we avoid every fight we get into, don't we?
Not Charlie.
That's my plan. That's my plan. We're gonna avoid this fight too. It's gonna be fun.
Do you want to take bets on that? Hey, chat, do you want to take bets on that? Because I'm very curious if that's actually going to happen. So,
Y'all were really convinced last time you thought we were gonna have a fight in here.
Yeah.
I was really convinced, but I've stacked the deck against you this time in a way.
Oh really?
Not at all. Yeah, I don't know what
Sounds
you're
like
talking
a
about.
challenge, guys. Sounds like a
Maybe.
challenge, guys.
I mean, I'm always down for a fight because hashtag.
Yeah.
Charlie.
I mean, either we're gonna walk through here like there's no problem, or you're gonna kick the shit out of everyone. I've faith in.
I've never had a problem with not kicking the shit out of everybody.
Okay, so
Let's do it.
what are you guys doing now? So Charlie has gotten this information, right? She knows that there's a bunch of people actually in there, right? There's a number of alley cats in the actual bar. There's a couple of people that are actually staff that are working there for the bar itself. You know that Julia Sable's not in the room right now.
I'm gonna slip the jacket on. I'm gonna look back at them and say, "All right, I will try to set Julia Sable up in a nice location where there's a vantage point for each of you. This will go well. We'll catch her in the act, or we'll apprehend her."
You know
For,
what you're gonna ask her?
Yes. Why we have Lily Chow? Is she aware of what she's able to do, and why does she want her?
All right. Okay.
That way I can get her for an attempt at kidnapping.
Real stupid question. Do you have any sort of recording device for this? Because otherwise,
I pull out my phone. It's modern age technology.
all right. How about if you're going to record it on there, why don't you call so that she can't destroy the recording?
Right. And I call I'll just call Sathana. I was like, I'm gonna call Charlie, but like hers is like Henry.
Henry.
Henry, fine fellow. Henry.
Henry, what? Henry, what? Would it be worth? I mean, do you have voicemail? I mean, it'd be worth recording, sending it to say. Actually, no. Yeah, send it to my voicemail. That'll probably on for hours. Go for it.
Yeah. So you'll get it to where it starts recording for voicemail.
As soon as it comes through, it's like voicemail. I don't know what it is.
And he goes out and he examines the room to kind of get the feel of the room.
Okay, so let me ask you this question before, because I feel like there's definitely going to be a role in here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Do you attempt to do this in a fashion where you're nonchalant and just kind of sneaking, or are you being bold and just walking in the room as Henry wearing a jacket?
Like he's not like tiptoeing, sneaking, but
That's
he's not
not-
walking in. He's not boldly walking in. He's just kind of, like you said, nonchalant, opening the door, closing, and then he's going to maybe take a seat either at the bar or at a booth or something.
Okay. So, what kind of a move do you think that is?
I think it's, if we had to really put a name to it, it'd probably be sneak around.
Okay.
So he's going to do ebb and flow and evasive footwork, so he's not getting close to anyone that he might have recognized from the previous night.
Okay.
Kind of deal.
So that
and
I
I
think
think
would have been 2 nights ago, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So
god, it was only 2 nights ago.
Oh yeah. That's how crazy this is, man.
Really
Oh.
looking into this bar.
he kind of like pushes his hair back, kind of to like have it look different instead of being shaggy all over his face kind of deal. He kind of like pushes it back to look kind of like greaser-esque because he's
Okay.
wearing a leather jacket kind of deal. And yeah, he's gonna take a seat.
All right, roll it.
Great success. Everyone that should fall for it falls for it. They're all too
RNG
soused.
tonight. Jesus, man. I swear. RNG tonight. Okay. So you step into the room. You're able to kind of, come out and you kind of assess it, right? Nobody is really paying attention to you because there is this uncomfortable sort of vibe going on. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of drinking going on, but there's also this tension being felt across the entire room, right? It's the kind of thing where, there's laughing and there's frivolity and what appears to be the guise of happiness, but there's an underlying, smiles are a little too fake, laughs last a little too long, kind of a thing. There's a definite tension, and so
the boss is in the room and they want to look like they're having fun when they're not at a company party. Yep.
Right. So you step in, you kind of make your way across and grab a seat at the back of the room, very close to the same booth that you had the conversation with Juggy and Roz and Charlie at that point. And there's, there appears to be a lot of distraction, so you aren't actually really caught.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really takes notice as you kind of sit down. Server comes over, asks you what drink you want. You get, you make your order, and again, nobody kind of takes notice.
He orders a double of Tullamore Dew.
Okay, and nobody bats an eye about that. And so, while that's going on, as you're kind of waiting, we're going to cut back to Charlie and Sathana in the bathroom.
Charlie on the roof.
Oh,
No, not yet.
Charlie didn't go back to the roof yet. I wanted to give her an opportunity to kind of figure that out.
I'm gonna see what Sathana does first, and then I'll decide what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm just going to wait.
You're gonna wait for Henry to cause problems.
I don't think that if Sethana was to walk into the bar, she may cause people who would remember her to remember her.
You called out to everyone, being like,
Yeah, she made a statement when she walked into that bar. She literally walked straight in the middle of a fight between two people going for it and sat on the bar and announced to everyone they should drink and not fight. I think people may remember that. It made me much harder for her to get around that stuff. Even if she was to, like, say, take the place of a serving staff or something, I don't think at the moment she should even risk going out there right now. She really needs to be the backup. So the only thing that she can really do is, like, be backup and be prepared to go out there with everything she has if it's needed. I mean, she has things that allow her to operate through walls.
Mm-hmm.
But until that lady turns up, there's not much she can do to help. I think she would only hinder in this situation.
Okay.
Charlie's gonna kind of do the same thing, except she's gonna go up to the roof and just listen down through the skylight and ready to jump in whenever something goes wrong.
Okay. All right.
Not if something goes wrong, when something goes wrong.
When something goes wrong. Okay.
Unless we keep rolling well, and then,
Yeah, that leaves me with a question. I know that Charlie has stupidly high senses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can Stefana hear much of what's going on in the bar from where she is?
I bet if you crack open the door a little bit.
Well, you would hear muffled conversation and noises and a little bit of, a sort of, the music, kind of coming from the speaker system in the place. I'm not sure how much detail you would hear and be able to separate unless you've got some power tag that makes sense that would allow you to kind of, separate all of those noises.
No, I'm not gonna do anything right now.
Okay.
I have things, but I think that'd be stretchy, so I'm gonna leave them.
Well, you want to stretch when the situation needs it versus like just listening in.
Okay, Henry.
Because every time I do, I always preface them with, it's a stupid idea. I don't think this is useful, stupid. I think this is just weird, so I'll leave it.
Okay, well, then that totally makes sense. So we've got Sethana kind of hiding in the bathroom, kind of waiting. We've got Charlie kind of moving her way up onto the roof. I'm not going to have you do any rolls because that would be very common for Charlie to do in a situation like this. So we're going to cut back to Henry just kind of, in the scene, hiding in plain sight, basically. Nobody's really taking notice, and you just kind of watch the clock kind of roll around to 10, and at 10 o'clock, nothing happens.
At this time, Henry's probably he has 3 empty glasses.
Are you intentionally getting drunk?
He is, yeah, he's drinking some of that liquid courage. He wants to, because he knows that if he's inebriated, his fight or flight instincts are a little bit heightened in the sense. So if she tries to do anything, he will try to be ready on that. Henry is full on about taking this girl down, regardless if she's willing or not, because she is targeting innocents. And I feel like Henry's still shooken up about ripping the guy's heart out, but he's going to try to do it non-violently. But he's going to try to drink some of that liquid courage to, I guess, calm himself, because I feel like his nerves are really on edge right now too.
Do you want to... So I can either, because the way that you just described this, there is definitely an inebriated tag that's gonna hit you. Unlike Sethana, who is somebody who operates drunk, this is not usual for Henry. So, do you want to roll it as a take a risk, or do you want to just take the tag, the story tag?
I'll take the tag.
Okay.
I'll take the tag, definitely.
All right, so we're just gonna say it's a story tag, and we're gonna say it's a status tag, and you're gonna be inebriated, right? Inebriated tier 1.
And that's going to be a negative status? That
will be a negative status on you, depending upon the situation, right? In a physical fight, in situations like that, I don't think it necessarily applies. I think it applies in like an intimidation or a social situation or that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So, so just go ahead and take the tier 1 status, inebriated, and we'll kind of make that final call when a roll comes up. But all right, so 10 o'clock again rolls around. You're 3 drinks in, nothing's going on. The bar is even more agitated, and in fact, Charlie, what you hear is a lot of the chatter just getting louder. It's like you hear the heartbeats of everybody in there just really, really just kind of,
Henry keeps his silent vigil at the booth. He feels like Sable is the kind of person who is unfashionably late, or not unfashionably late, fashionably late. She makes people wait on her instead of her showing up at the right time.
Okay.
That's a negotiating tactic.
Okay. All right. So you're just kind of waiting and waiting and waiting, and there appears to be, after another 5 minutes, there appears to be a little bit of a disturbance at the entrance as you hear, a distant kind of sort of slamming knock, right? And the commotion happens. Your 4th drink has just arrived as this is beginning to kind of go on, and you see that the server looks a little uncomfortable as she realizes what's going on. She puts the drink down, doesn't even wait for a tip or to take your money or anything, and then disappears into the back.
I think Henry notices that, and that kind of prickles the back of his hair. His heart begins to race a little bit, though the red shows up in his eyes, and he stares at the door.
And in walks a woman about 5'6", dressed impeccably in a business suit, blonde hair, looks a lot like Kate Blanchett. Just kind of stepping in and kind of looking around, kind of assessing the situation. And when she walks, she has this sort of swagger to her. But it's not a swagger so much as it is a sway, as if she's just, slinking into the room. And she's looking around, and finally she sees somebody in the crowd, and she heads directly for them, and the crowd just kind of splits around her. And a hushed conversation begins, her and that other individual. And eventually that kind of person turns to the side, and you realize that it's Juggy.
Poor little jugster.
Henry like bolts up, and he kind of walks, try to push his way through the crowd, get closer to Juggy, because he's going to attempt to place his hand on Juggy to let him know that we're here, kind of deal. And he's going to whisper in his ear, Lily Chow has arrived, kind of deal.
As you begin to make your approach, trying to move your way through the crowd, you see the woman look over at you, and you're going to face danger.
Oh, okay. I will face that danger. I noticed she looks at me, so I immediately try to kind of turn out of her line of sight, but not so quick as to make her know that I caught onto her, just kind of make it look natural, like I'm turning, to not face her. So that would be a face of footwork. I noticed that she, at a peripheral, that she noticed me, so that's going to be ebb and flow. And I think that's the only thing that applies here.
Well, let me take a look at your character sheet just real quick. I want to make sure that there's not a...
Oh, it didn't. It got rid of my pacifism.
It did get rid of your pacifism, but I was going to actually say you have no authority here is probably what would apply.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And then me being drunk, or do you not want to call that into effect?
No, I don't think that's going to apply this time around, because you're not directly in a social situation yet. You're not in a situation where it's going to be difficult. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
And roll it.
8.
Mild success. Okay, you turn, you begin to make your turn, but you don't turn fast enough. And so you get hit with this emotional just, I don't want to hurt this person. I don't want, this person is okay. And so you're going to take, instead of a tier 3 charmed, you're going to take a tier 2 glamored.
Okay.
And that tier 2 glamour just kind of, all of the intense emotion of you moving into the situation just kind of reduces a little bit, and you're like, maybe I don't need to move in right this second. You feel like intimidated, but also like you don't need to be as aggressive. Like you feel the aggression sort of bleed away from you a little bit.
So the person who's looking at me isn't Julia Sables, or is it?
It is Julia Sables.
Okay.
But
okay.
So she looked at you, and you were immediately kind of stunned by her gaze. Like there's something about her gaze that kind of nailed you.
Henry, do you have the stuff on your body that makes you...
I feel like he would have okay. Put it on immediately, kind of deal, as he got there. So would I be aware that I just felt myself get charmed?
No, you'll just be like, all of your intentions to kind of come in and be there to support Juggy just went, oh. Okay. You can still move forward, you can still do all of that, but you don't feel as motivated to, and that's the status effect.
All right, I think because of the status effect, since it is tier 2, he would just stop on the edge of the crowd. Juggy would probably notice him, like
he doesn't even take notice of you, because Juggy is at the center of this crowd near the bar where Julia Sable is. Julia was assessing the room, saw you coming towards her. She saw the intention on your face, and just kind of gazed at you.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe it is a direct eye contact thing. Not that I'm there and I can't help. I'm upstairs.
Charlie
Okay.
gets it.
I'm just gonna chill up in the roof, looking down, hanging out, enjoying life.
You hear that Charlie, you sense that Henry makes a move into the situation and then suddenly stops. So you know something has affected him. You mean you can pick Henry out of the crowd, right? You would know his heartbeat differently.
Can I smell anything different in the air? Like, I guess I'm outside. That wouldn't help.
You are outside.
Can I sense her presence?
What do you mean by sense her presence?
Julius Sables. Can I sense that she's there?
Oh, you sensed her as she came into the room, right? All of that, as that happened, that was just kind of like you saw that actually happen, right? So what do you want? I mean, what do you want to do here?
I'm just gonna continue watching because not much I can do right now. I don't want to start a fight. I'm literally up on the roof.
That's a great place to start a fight. So, okay, stepping back for a second, I want to say something about what's going on with Henry right now. Nothing is preventing you. You've just taken a status effect here, right? You feel a little less motivated, so you can continue to engage in what you're doing. That's how this isn't like a direct sort of I'm denying you because of the action that you took, right? Okay.
I'm playing up the effect that if he was tier 3 determined, that and he's railroading at full speed, that glamour he got to the edge of the crowd. Like, I'm seeing this like the classic schoolyard fight. Everyone's crowded around in this big circle, and then there's the two fighters in the middle. He's at the edge in up front in the ring, kind of deal. He's not out yet, but he's still in the crowd, kind of deal. So that glamour is like, okay, maybe this is okay. Maybe this isn't going to be what I think it is, because my first reaction is, oh shit, Juggy's here. He doesn't have Lily. He's going to get hurt. But now that glamour is telling me, no, that I think my first mistake was wrong. My first instinct was wrong.
All right. Well, so how do you guys want to proceed in this situation? The scene is starting to stall a little bit as that conversation is going on in front of Henry. Charlie can sort of sense what's going on from above, and then Sathana's kind of in the dark right now.
Can I do that possibly weird, slightly stupid idea?
Well, that depends on how weird and slightly stupid you want to get.
So, I have shared grief affects through walls.
Okay.
And we're in a drinking hole. So, my thought is, I know Henry. I tried and partially felt the grief that he had when he killed that boy. Maybe I can connect to him and find out what's going on that way.
Connect to Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's an interesting idea. What do you think you're going to get out of that in this particular case?
In this particular case, what I kind of want to do is shift this charmed away from him by giving him some sort of backup. Like, if I'm connecting with him, then we can probably share whatever it is that she's dumped on him, so he's able to be more proactive.
Oh, so like the tier 2 becomes a tier 1, but it's a tier 1 on me and tier 1 on Sathana, kind of like a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, so that when you're there, she doesn't necessarily have to be near you to affect you. Like, she doesn't, because of the way that she is, and she has like affected through walls, and that she's a Valkyrie, she doesn't necessarily have to be literally on your shoulder, because the Valkyries were often a slightly different plane anyway. So I think the idea being that she connects to Henry so that if she wants to be able to help him, like change his fortune, maybe get like the other woman to back off, that she can do that remotely. So I want to be able to help him without being directly in the room right at this moment.
Okay. I'm actually okay with that as a description, right? I think that actually works. And so what kind of a role specifically is this? Is this an investigate, or is this a
change the game?
A change the
I
game.
guess.
Okay.
Because rather than him being there on his own, he's with someone, even though someone isn't actually with him.
Right.
I guess. And it's dropping down some of the effects that are happening in the bar on him. At least that's my thought anyway. That was my immediate jump to.
Okay. All right, let's call it change the game. I think one of your
cool.
weaknesses are actually going to apply here, so let me take a look at that real quick. No, I don't think they are. When I look at it, I don't think they are.
Okay. So I'm using shared grief. I'm using that connection that we had before.
Okay.
I'm affecting him through a wall because I'm hiding in the bathroom and he's not. I'm going to be using probably drinking hall.
Okay.
Because we're in a drinking hall. This is her natural status. I think the others might be reaching, so I'll just stick with 3.
All right, that
Do I
sounds
have
good.
to apply negative for this, or? I mean, I don't see which any of these would work, but...
So this is one of those cases where I think the inebriated is going to have an effect, because you're connecting with Henry, and you would be used to connecting to him, or you would be used to connecting to somebody. Well, no, actually, I don't think that's the case, right? Because the reason that he was drinking because it was the whole fight to deal with the fight or flight, which is very common for anybody going into battle. You know, at the time when, you know, the Valkyrie would, you know, kind of, yeah. So let's just go with a straight 3 then, and go ahead and roll it.
All right. Mildly successful.
Okay, so mildly success. You had 3 instead of 1, so you've got 3 power tags, or you've got 3 juice you can spend. It's the top 3 options on the sheet, not necessarily what's in there in the... Shit, hold on a second. Oh, why are you messing around with me right now? Sorry. It is create a story tag, burn a power tag, or create or reduce a status. Which would you like to do?
Just so you could create a new temporary tag.
That's correct.
Could we add Angel on his shoulder?
Yes.
Tag.
Absolutely.
I'll do that. You say I have 2 more to spend.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it would be -1 to that charm thing.
-1 to... You want to
Glamored.
You want to reduce
glamour, yeah.
You want to reduce the story tag there, or the status that he's taken as glamored
Yeah.
by 1.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, I'm happy to take it because that's what I originally intended. So
Okay.
I'll leave that up to you.
That one I'm okay. And then what do you want to do with your 3rd juice?
Can I store it?
For the scene, sure.
Yep, I'll do that.
Okay.
You just feel a little fluttering on your shoulder.
And
Familiar hand without the hand being there.
I think that revitalizes his motivation, and he kind of steps out into the ring. And
Into the ring?
Yeah, the ring. Because this is what it looks like. It looks like it. I feel they parted for her. They're crowding around Juggy. And he places a hand on Juggy, and he's like, Juggy, hey, just want to let you know, hey, the package ready to be delivered, you know, hey.
And when you begin to do that, Julia looks again over at you, reaches out her hand, puts it on your chest, begins to push, and as she pushes you, you hear her say, "You need to leave and you feel nails digging into your chest just a little bit to reinforce it.
She feels the nails digging into my chest. She would also feel the resistance of the layer of
yes, but she's still pushing you back and pushing you away, and you can feel through the barrier, right? The vine barrier. You feel it kind of being pushing you away, and you can feel the nails kind of digging in a little bit. And when she looks at you again, her eyes shimmer. They've got a different sort of a look to them.
And I think that is when Henry immediately looks down at her chin and says, "Hey, what do you mean? You know, Juggy told me to bring the package here. What? Do you not want the package? I mean, hey, man, whatever. I'll just go let it go. You know, she got other places to be, other places to do. Fine. Hey, whatever, man. No skin off my nose."
Claws come out, grab through the barrier. You feel them slightly scratch your chest as she pulls you forward, and you're going to face danger.
Okay.
Can I help with him?
Oh,
I don't know how many things I can add to it.
Well, so it's really a matter of, let's figure out what he's going to do, and then let me ask you how you think you can actually support him in this particular case.
Okey-dokey.
Henry's eyes grow a little bit redder, and then as soon as he feels that it digs into his chest, he then makes eye contact with Sable, and like a little smirk kind of forms on his face as he's pulled closer, and he's going to place a hand on her hand, causing a vine to sprout out from the briar armor underneath and start wrapping around her hand. That's going to be his face danger.
How is that facing danger?
It's going to constrict around her hand. He's going to try to apply pressure to the wrist to have her release her grip.
Okay. That makes sense. I just want to I wanted to be very clear about how that was.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
He's facing danger because she can easily just squeeze harder and then cause more damage, but he's going to use his knowledge of pressure points as a medical student, his ebb and flow, his briar weapon, and he's going to call in seasonal atrophy because these the vine is going to have small little nibs of thorns starting to form.
Okay.
And he's going to face danger. Mild success, but with a -1 tier.
Yep. Okay. Give me just 1 second as I look at something here. So the claws kind of come in and you feel them kind of scratch. And so instead of taking, lacerated tier status 2, you're going to get a scratch, tier 1, as she kind of pulls you in and says, "Don't make me talk to you again. I'm having a conversation with this gentleman right here, and I need to finish it." And she throws you and pushes you back, kind of sending you kind of stumbling back a little bit. And you see the crowd just kind of spread out around you a little bit as they realize something's about to go on, and they don't know who to support here because you're clearly wearing an alley cat jacket, but this is Julia Sable, and they all know that she's trouble.
I think at that point he would go and stand next to Juggy and say, "I'm all for that, miss. You misunderstand my intentions. I had just arrived and I received a text from Mr.
She attacks
Jugs.
you. You're gonna go toe to toe with her.
Okay.
Charlie, you're seeing this all go down.
I'm assuming
I'm feeling this going down too.
Oh, you're feeling this going down too.
Well, you know what's great? Because I can't physically see her, her effect is not going to work on me.
That's correct.
So I'm going to bust through the roof.
Okay. Okay, so you're coming down. You're coming down as the attack is happening on Henry.
Actually, before I want to do that, is there like a pipe on the roof I can grab?
I'm sure there's like a 2x4 or something that you can grab. Definitely.
I don't want a 2x4. I want like a pipe, a metal pipe. Like even if it's connected to some water thing, I'm gonna pull it off.
You know, it would be really amazing if somebody in the scene had an extra juice that they could spend for you to create that pipe just kind of lying there. Do you know anybody who could do that?
2 pipes. I want 2 pipes. Someone create this.
You find like a pipe that's kind of broken in half, so you kind of...
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sounds great.
A pipe broken.
And then I'm gonna jump down with 2 pipes.
Okay.
I'm going to go toe to toe, and I'm going to push Juggy out of the way, kind of deal. And I feel like this is when his armor kind of tears through the shirt that he had on and the jacket and becomes thicker. And
oh, hold on. That's a change the game kind of a scenario there, right?
Okay.
Because if your armor just starts to, you start so intense, it becomes a real protective barrier like that, and it's starting to do that. Yeah, and that definitely has to become either a story tag or of some sort.
Okay.
Right?
I could do two rolls. The first roll is toe to toe. I'm going to push Juggy out of the way, and I'm going to take a ready stance, and I'm going to stand my ground.
Okay.
Okay. That's going to be ebb and flow, evasive footwork, because I'm getting in front of Juggy and pushing him away. Right,
but this is your change the game for armor, right?
Well, you said I would have to go toe to toe, so I'm.
So do you want to? So she's going in for the attack. You said that as this happens, the armors happen. So is this
okay?
Is that happening first, or is the going toe to toe first?
I was going off of what you said you wanted me to do, which was toe to toe.
All right, well, then let's do toe to toe then.
Okay. So, and ebb and flow, evasive footwork. And I think that's all that I can call on without, really reaching for anything.
Let me take a look at your weakness tags. Yeah, none of these seem to. None of these seem to really apply here, unless you really want to. Unless you think that pacifism evokes, but she's attacking you.
Yeah, she's attacking me. I'm not inciting the fight.
Yeah. Okay.
Go toe to toe, miss.
And this is the moment in the show where I go, RNG has finally fallen into my favor.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of comes in, as you're just kind of inserting yourself into the situation and trying to talk to Juggy again, right? You're kind of leaning in. She moves in, pushes you back a little bit, and swipes at you. Now, because you've got the armor, this is going to be a reduced status, right? Again, you're gonna get scratched. Like she's gonna claw at you, and the barrier armor, the briar armor, just kind of is able to kind of diminish the claws, going from lacerated 2 to scratched 1. But since you already have a scratched 1 status, and you're taking another scratched 1 status, they add together and they become a lacerated 2.
Okay. So he takes lacerated.
He takes lacerated 2, and when that happens, she also just kind of, she's able to kind of push you away from Juggy as the rest of the crowd begins to kind of spread, and they realize that a fight's going down, and you see Juggy beginning to react like, no fighting in here.
The blood begins to seep through the shirt, the obvious wood armor underneath, and he kind of places a hand to where the scratch marks, and he looks at the blood, and he looks at Sable. All right, I heard you were a tough negotiator, but I didn't know how tough. And I think at that point is when he creates the armor full plate head to toe.
Okay, so as you do that and you say that, you hear the crash as Charlie comes barreling through the skylight. Charlie, set it up for us.
I'm going to crash through and like get as close as I can and try to hit Sable in the back of the head and her kneecap, the back of her kneecap. So half the pipes would hit like her kneecap to drop her. The other one would like go for the back of the head
To kind of knock her senses, kind of a thing.
I would hit her with all I got.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like it, because you're coming in surprising her in this situation, so you've got the advantage there.
Senses defense detail, short range target, martial arts, outgoing agility. I think that's all, but I mean, yeah. Yes.
I have a feeling that there's a weakness tag that you should be invoking. Otherwise,
What,
I would.
ignores danger?
Yes.
Yeah, so 3.
Okay.
All right. Hold on 1 second. Let me
Make sure you mark on your character sheet for attention there for that.
Yeah, I mean I haven't, but I know how many times I've rolled this session.
Okay. All right. Okay. Cool.
Mild success.
Mild success. Okay, so hit him with all you got. That means that this particular she's going to take a tier 3 status.
Okay.
Which is going to get reduced by 1 immediately because she moves very quickly.
So tier 2 status.
She's going to take a tier 2 status that we'll talk about in just a second.
And then I get to do one of the
yes.
3.
Yeah. Actually, there's actually 5. You're hitting her with all you got,
4.
so you can. There's
one
actually 4. There's 5 actually.
Well, I only see 4.
Okay, so in the book it's 5. It's you can take cover, get a superior position, which means you won't take any damage. You can get him good or get him.
Should I
get many of them?
I see.
Okay.
I'm reading it.
Okay. So you just tell me what you want to do.
Should I either hit them with all I got or add a tier 3 status?
No, you get the tier 3 status happens anyways.
Well, no, I know. Tier 3 status, but it went on to a tier 2, but I can +1 back up to a tier 3.
That's right.
Yeah, do it. Anything we can do to
let's tier 3 status her stunned.
Okay. So I'm going to say it's
not
more than stunned. It's probably disoriented. Or not
so tier 1 would be like stunned, tier 2 would be like disoriented, tier 3 would be almost unconscious, I would say. Like
somebody cleaned her clock. Yeah. Basically.
concussed.
Concussed.
And tier 4 would be knocked out, like the comatose guy in the bathroom.
Okay.
Comatose. No, that's tier like 5. He ain't waking up. He dead.
Basically, he's probably like has brain damage.
Possibly.
All right.
Okay. So that's what you're doing is you're increasing it to 3?
Yes.
Okay. So you come crashing down. Which hit? So it's the hit of the head that kind of affects her, right?
Yeah, but like I've knocked her, so like stunned would be like I took out her knees.
Right.
And then
okay, so she kind of
disoriented and like cleaned her clock or whatever are a tier 2 and 3.
Yeah. So basically, she's concussed. So you kind of get her to stumble, and she's starting to fall. She's starting to lean back a little bit, and that second bar kind of connects and hits her at the back of the head. But as she's doing that, she reaches out with her hands, and she claws you, and you take lacerated tier 2. Sathana, you probably feel all of this going on through Henry at this point. So
yeah, I very much want to get there before she lacerates Charlie, because I have a really interesting, stupid idea.
well, so the laceration is going to happen regardless, right? Because it's a response to that, because she didn't take cover or secure position. She has to deal with the fact that there is going to be essentially a counterattack, and that some damage is going to happen there. So, all right. So all of this is going on. Sathana, how do you enter the scene? Because you're still in the bathroom at that point.
I leave the bathroom.
What is that like?
Woohoo! I'm gonna pull my sword.
Okay.
I'm gonna basically, because I've seen this going along. I've sensed and felt her like clawing at Henry, and Henry just like armoring up. I sensed her like attacking Charlie with claws. I want to go in there with my sword, and as she finishes that movement of raking Charlie, I want to cut her hands off.
Oh.
Declaw the bitch.
Okay, you can try that.
I would love to try that.
I would like to help. In the
Hold
sense,
on. You're armoring up at this point. I don't think that it's appropriate for you to be able to help with that.
Would I not be appropriate to tell her, warn her about the eyes, watch the eyes?
I've seen everything you've seen.
Oh, right. I totally forgot that you had that kind of thing. I thought it was more of
with you on the battlefield without being.
okay. I thought it was more of like an empathy kind of deal. You feel what I feel, but if you saw what I saw, then fuck yeah. You never mind. Keep doing what you're doing.
On your shoulder, you. No, yeah. To be fair, I'm not even focusing on her head, on her anything. I'm focused on taking her hands off. So I think applied would be lightning sword. I think it would definitely be conflict. Ties of fortune, because this would really screw her over and turn the battle in our favor. It's in a drinking hall. I think anything else would be a stretch, because I don't want her to fly from this situation, and I don't want her to fight in this situation. I want her to stay exactly where she is, just without hands. So I think 4.
It's going to get reduced by 2, because there are going to be 2 weakness tags that I'm going to invoke. Which one did you want to invoke?
People find me terrifying. I'm just coming out of a cupboard. I'm coming out of the bathroom with a sword and
Right. So that's.
I'm not like screaming as I walk on. I'm doing it very calmly and very coolly. But I think that would be terrifying in and of its own. So
I absolutely, completely agree with you. I think that would be incredibly terrifying. However, I also think that signature marking of your victims, because you are trying to cut her hands off.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'll take it.
I believe in you. Roll well. You can do this.
All right. I just need to tip.
Good vibes.
I don't really know what's going on.
Good vibes, not even possible.
I'm vibing her well.
All right. Okay.
phrasing.
Are we going for
Shut up.
cheat for the game, or is it face danger, or?
Well, you're coming in to attack, right? You're coming in at the situation where...
I feel like it's a hit him with all you got, kind of.
Actually, to be fair, you would have to hit with all you've got to take someone's hands off.
I think it's
Yeah,
actually
because-
take a risk.
Well, nothing you're doing is going to change what happened to me and what happened to Henry, so...
Yes. I think this is a take a risk, and here's why. Because you're coming out wielding a sword, Charlie is close by, and the claws just kind of attacked at Charlie, so you could
Okay.
potentially hit Charlie.
Nah.
Yeah, I see that. That's fine.
Well, I mean,
Alright.
unless you can argue, because there's a huge
I'm-
potential for collateral damage here.
I have super agility.
So does she.
No, it is a risky maneuver, because if I miss, I'm going to be putting myself pretty much in danger, because I'm getting kind of like the action of swinging her hands, like the other side of her hands is Charlie, so I'm essentially between her and Charlie-ish. I'm very, very close to this now, so I'm putting myself in a lot of danger to do this.
You
So I
absolutely
think
are.
that's- I'll take it. If not, I'll, disappear into the mist. We'll find something. Not success.
Mild success. So, you can inhibit her ability to use her hands. You're not going to chop them off, but you can inhibit her ability to use her hands. However, there will be collateral damage with Charlie. That's your hard bargain.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie, I don't think you're going to like the damage that comes to you if you take damage in this particular case. The ugly choice is you can miss doing it completely, but you'll have a superior position in your next attack on her, which means you'll get a plus. You'll essentially get a story tag of superior position, which will apply in your next roll.
Even if it's not a combat one? Like, if
No,
I try
this-
to do
no.
my normal avoiding it? Okay.
No.
I'll take that.
Okay.
I'll take it anyway. I don't
So
want to hurt Charlie.
so the sword comes in. You realize that Charlie is just in a situation where if the swing goes through cleanly, it's not going to happen, right? So you're able to kind of hold up, but you're kind of able to spin around as you're doing this to be able to stop and to get more into an aggressive position as you watch Julia Sable kind of roll back as she's falling and kind of do a tumble and stand up, and she's kind of disoriented a little bit as her claws are coming out. But as she does that, you see that her skin is changing a little bit, that there are pronounced markings on her skin, and you can see that her facial features are beginning to shift a little bit. They're becoming more more cat-like, right? You see more of a pronounced sort of pursing of the lips. The eyes are definitely beginning to shift from pupils, in the normal circle pupil sense, to more like cat eyes. And you can see that she's she's starting to lean even more down, sort of crouching, almost as if ready to pounce, kind of a situation. And her claws, they're no longer hands; they're clearly claws extending from where her fingers were. Right? I mean, they're intense. Charlie, sorry. I think this is the point where Henry is probably either going to change the game or do something else.
He's going to change the game.
Okay.
He's armoring up. This is going to be Briar Defense. Trying to think. Briar Defense, Ebb and Flow to keep an eye on Sable so she doesn't get near. And he's going to move. So when he gets scratched, he stumbles back. But I feel like he's going to maybe retreat a little bit to a more secure position while this takes time. So that's going to be a face of footwork.
Okay.
Okay. Let's do change the game. Mild success.
Okay, so you get however many power tags as juiced for the first three options. So you can create a story tag, burn a power tag, a story tag, give or reduce a status.
I'm going to give myself story tag. Or would it be status if I want to give myself plate armor? Like, if
It's going to be a story tag.
story tag. Okay, so if it would be tier 3. So first tier would be like Kevlar. Tier 2 would be light. This is like heavy duty armor.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of deal. So he's going to take the story tag, armored up.
Okay, so you've got this story tag armored up. That's one story tag. I mean, that's one tag.
Mm-hmm.
Or one juice. You've got two more. What do you want to do with those two?
Wait, one juice gets me the tier 3.
No, so it's not a story tag. It's that story tags do not have have a status in that same range.
Status. Okay.
So
okay. He's going to ooh, I like that one better. Ironwood.
Yeah, I think Trindane called it there.
Yeah, Ironwood. I got Ironwood. All right, that's me being lewd. I feel like I'm going to try to remove a tier status for myself with lacerations. Maybe
Okay.
would it be inappropriate to maybe call on my healing ability?
I don't think it's
regen?
inappropriate if you I mean, because that's what it gives you, right? It gives you the ability to reduce a status tag, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the perfect example of it. So you've got a lacerated 2 right now.
Mm-hmm. As he calls on the healing magic, the cracks and the spaces in between all of these vines and wood plates and stuff start to glow green. As he spends a juice to remove lacerated, and I'm going to spend the last juice to remove scratched.
Okay.
So
So the as the armor kind of grows around you, it also does that sort of healing effect, and it gives you that, right? And so that you bulk up, right?
Yeah.
And so for Charlie and for Sathana, you're kind of assessing the situation. You look over and you hear essentially the vines just kind of creeping around. As Julia kind of looks at this, as she's leaning down, and she looks around at the crowd and says, "Well, boys, I could use a little help." And they all begin to move in aggressively at you.
Could I throw up or something now?
You sure can. But you are going to be facing some pretty serious magic.
Fuck it.
Do it.
All right.
Do it.
So I think Sethana would like hearing that this weird cat lady has like invited everyone to join the fight. She's gonna turn around, sword in hand, and kind of lock eyes with most of the people that she remembers from last time. And she's gonna say, "Look, she's just gonna cut you to ribbons when we're done here. You all know she's just gonna turn on you. So don't get involved." So I would like to use conflict because we're in it.
Mm-hmm.
I am sharing the idea of grief. I know that's a stretch, but I'll throw it at you, hopefully.
What grief are you sharing here? Because what you're trying to motivate them from joining a fight where they clearly are going to be. You feel that they're going to be used. Where does guilt fall into that?
Guilt.
Oh, you can give. You felt Henry's ultimate guilt.
Yeah, how does that apply to this situation where that she is basically commanding them to get involved?
By showing them glimpses of what I do to people.
That's not guilt. That's fear.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be like inspiring their flight instincts.
Yeah, that was another one on my list. Okay, so I'll basically restart that. Conflict is clearly going on. Shared grief, the idea being that I'm sharing the idea that she's going to be ripping them to shreds the same way that she's basically beginning to rip these two to shreds because they've already seen her claws come out. She's already seen them do that. I want them to imagine them receiving that.
Okay.
Okay. Ties of Fortune. This is a big play for her. This is a big thing that will make the fight go in her favor. I want that to not be the case. I want them to fly from the situation and not fight in it. We are in a drinking hall. I think that, as much as I hate to say it, I think people find me terrifying may apply in this because we just had that come up.
But I mean, they're already terrified, so is it reusing it or?
It still applies, yes. It just if she can apply power tags in the same way across scenes, across roles, the weakness tags can also get applied like that.
Now I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
We had that previous tag on here in the particular area. Can I apply that?
I'm trying to remember what that tag was. That's really the important question here.
It was chilled.
Okay.
Are you talking about on the bar?
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. However, you're in a situation where you're going to be fearing the fact that you're potentially becoming a Valkyrie.
That was going to be my next weakness tag I was going to chuck on there.
Yeah, okay. So make sure you mark the attention for both of those. And I think that completely applies. And I would suggest you roll it.
Alright, so fear, terrifying.
Oh, right. Sorry, there's one more thing. You're actually going to face there's going to be there's a story tag in the situation for this crowd, and that is commanded. That they have been commanded. So that you're going to add that as a weakness tag as well.
Okay, so I'll just click one of my other weakness tags and that should take it off, right?
Either that or just convey it as a negative status.
Okay, alright, yeah. Okay. I think that's... I'm clicking all the buttons and I'm hoping it's right. We'll see what
We'll
happens.
figure it out.
So I'm trying to think exactly what kind of role this is because a lot of them comply in this. I think maybe convince.
I think this is totally a convince because you're doing exactly that. You're being verbal in this situation. But you're not doing a threatening monologue. So
No, I forgot to click threatening monologue. No.
All right. So power tag of 2. They can either take a relevant tier status or they will.
That only added 2.
Yes, but you had 4 power tags and you had 5 power tags and you had 3 weaknesses.
Okay, yeah.
So that applies as 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can either convey them a tier 2 status of some kind, or you can change the agenda a little bit. Like you can get them to do something vaguely that you want, but they're not going to change their core value of what they're going to do in this situation.
My essence is I want them to back off. I don't want them to get involved. So maybe hesitant.
Hesitant what? Is that are you giving them a status?
Yeah, I think a status would be a good one because their agenda at the moment is either join in or not, and either way it would be. Yeah, I'm confused. No, I think hesitant would be better. I think hesitant fits, like, as a phrase.
Okay, so the way that tier status is going to apply is it's going to apply as a positive story tag or a positive effect anytime they take action, or you guys are taking action against them, or they're taking action against you, because they are hesitating in that situation. So they're taking a tier 2 status, right? And in order for that to be cleared, the 2 effects need to be cleared based on anything that they do or what have you. And so she evokes this, right? She kind of looks around and she says, "It's time to get involved." And you immediately come back with a response and just say, remember, remember what happened previously, right? And then, or remember what what she does. Whoa, did we lose somebody?
Yeah, we lost Alex.
Okay. Hold on just a second, guys. We're going to deal with Windows here.
Right at the end.
I love it. It's always great. Okay. So I'm just going to continue on. We're going to wait. We're going to see if Alex is going to come back, guys. And we're just going to continue on with this scene.
I didn't move. This is kind of nice.
Yeah. So you convey this. They all, hesitate for a second, and they continue to move forward but you realize that you get a sense of they're not as invested in the fight as they were before. So,
Okay.
Charlie, you're up.
I'm gonna smack her in the head with a pole. All
right. So this is she's ready for it this time. So you're gonna go toe to toe with her.
Yep. Perfect short range target, sensing the finest details, martial arts, outgoing agility, and I kind of want to use fear as a weapon because she is this strong fucking, whatever she is, and I'm this tiny 5'3" blonde girl.
Yes.
So
5.
five.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. You're a tiny blonde girl, but she's a tiny blonde woman.
Yeah, but she also thinks she's better than everyone, and the fact that I've already, taken her down, even though she's hit me, is probably a little scary for her.
Doesn't quite work that way, but sure. I mean, I like the narrative element of it, but yeah.
Also, always gets up. She's already hit me, hurt me, and I'm still standing.
Yeah. Okay, so how many is that? That's 5, you said?
6.
6.
But I will put in ignores danger.
You're also going to deal with sensory overload
Why?
because everybody else is starting to get into the fight, and so there's a lot of movement, right? I mean, we're talking a lot of people here, right? So you haven't had time to adjust your senses yet, as
Then
there's a
4.
bunch of movement. So, all right, perfect.
Going toe to toe. Great success.
Okay, you can choose 2 of those, and you're going to.
I'm reach my goal with hitting her in the head.
Okay.
And I add another tier 1, or make it a tier 4 status, and I'm going to knock her out because we considered knocked out tier 4 on the other guy.
She is not your normal type of danger, so her threshold is actually higher than this, just so you know. But
Okay,
she is gonna take a tier 4 status, so that is pretty significant.
Yeah, and then
Well, so you've achieved your goal. You hit her,
yes.
right? And she's gonna take the tier, and then she's gonna take the tier 4 status,
Yes.
right? All right. So again, I'm going to point this out just in case you want to change. If you don't take the third option, which is you block, dodge, or counter the attempt, you're going to take more damage.
That's fine because I always get up.
Okay. So you come in, right, and you swing again, and you're able to kind of clock her on the head with your iron, pipe, right? And she kind of takes the blow, and she kind of begins to go down, and again swipes out. This time, though, instead of taking lacerated tier 2 because of her hands have evolved, they've shifted and
That's
become even more claws, you're going to take gouged 3, right? And so that's going to supersede the lacerated 2, right? And she just kind of, she kind of swipes in a little bit. Sathana, you see this going on, and the opportunity is there. You've got a perfect position and an opportunity. However, if you don't take it right now, there are going to be alley cats moving right in front of you to block your way.
Okay. Okay. I want to try something a little different. Seeing that I'm seeing her, and it's probably quite dangerous to me, I'll take that too. Seeing that she's swiping at Charlie again.
Okay.
Is there an opportunity for me to literally lay hands on her, like grab her arm or grab her right by the throat or something, literally just lay my hands on her? I want to show her pain that she hasn't. I wanted to show her the pain that she is experiencing from Ollie's death. And I want to show her the battlefield that as she saw it when she first went there, when she took the dead mortician's soul to Valhalla. I want to show her all of that in a single hit with the intent that I want to just completely just destroy her ability to do anything and up that to either unconscious or babbling idiot or something.
Okay. So that means you're dropping your sword, though, right?
Yes, I'll drop the sword. Or was the status applied to the sword and the sword only?
No, the status wasn't applied just to the sword. I just want to make sure I understand what you're doing here, because you're either sheathing the sword again, or you're dropping the sword and moving in to try to do this on her, right? You're trying to do.
Okay, if it's just on the sword, then I will go to just stab it in her chest. If she's done that, then there's an opportunity to push it up and in through her chest. So yeah, I'm gonna try and do that. I'm gonna try and cause her as much maiming problem as possible.
Okay.
If it's applied only to the sword, then I'll do that.
Okay. Well, then we can totally do that. Well, no, it's not applied to the sword. You can do whatever you want in that situation. You've got that superior advantage. The difference is that how the situation changes for everything else, like everybody else in the situation, when that reaction actually happens, when the how they're going to react to you because you no longer have your sword in your hand and you're immediately quote unquote laying hands on her.
Can I like, so are we fighting right by the bar?
You're fighting in the center of the bar, sure. I mean, it's close. It's not that close. Why do you ask?
Could I use the sword to like literally pin her against the bar so that she's unable to like make any movements apart from against me, to like kind of restrain her? Like how like if someone picks up a stick and holds you by the throat against a wall, it's very difficult for you to do much without you wiggling around. Can I do that with the sword?
I think it's
either
going
on
to be
the floor or against the wall. I'll take either.
Well, I think it's going to be a toe-to-toe if that's the case.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll go for that. If I can do it, then I'll go for that. Okay. Conflict. Sword. Drinking hall.
Drinking hall. Fear.
Yeah, fear. Always fear.
Always fear.
Always fear. No, I think if I do anything else, it's just inciting for inciting's sake. I think. No, yeah, I think I'll go with that. I think everything else will be either a stretch or me just playing into a tag for playing it.
Okay.
Alright, so would we go with toe to toe?
Yes.
Alright. No. God damn it.
Okay. Yeah, this is one of those situations where it's going to get a little dicey. All right. So as you kind of move in, where were you trying to pin her? Against the floor or against the bar?
Let's go with the floor. If the bar was a bit too far out, then I'll go for the floor.
All right. So you come in, attack's happening on Charlie, right? You take advantage of the situation as Charlie just rung her clock and got scratched up a little bit, but you just kind of rung her clock again, and she is now so I mean it's more than just concussed, right? She is physically kind of slow. You make your move in, but because she's so wobbly, you can't anticipate what she's going to do. She's not going to move even based on the normal way that you would, and she's almost got this sort of drunken master sort of like balancing thing going on. Oh, hey Alex, there you are. You're back.
Sorry.
That's okay.
ISP cut out.
All right.
Restarted the entire modem and everything.
That's okay. I'm gonna fix the windows in just a second after I get done describing this. Okay, so like she's kind of doing this, and she moves in, just as you move into kind of a pin, and she kind of spins out of your way in her wobbling as she's kind of trying to grab onto something and kind of orient herself. And as you do that, and you miss pinning her, a couple of the alley cats kind of reach in and grab for you and start to hold you back, and they start to kind of pull you away from her to kind of restrain you. And so you're going to take a restrained story tag, as they've kind of got you. And it's a couple of them. So.
Wait.
All right. So just for Alex's to fill him in real quick, Charlie just basically clocked her again. She's got his tier 4 status on. Charlie is also bleeding pretty badly, though, at this point. She's got a tier 3 status of, I believe, not lacerated, but gouged, right?
Gouged.
Right. And so Sathana took advantage of that situation because of how hard Charlie had hit her, stepped in, was going to try to pin her, but didn't actually pin her, and is now in a bad situation herself. So you see Sathana being pulled back by a couple of the alley cats, being restrained. You see Charlie just for a second, just kind of leaning there, and the blood is starting to really kind of pour from one of her wounds.
I'm fine.
You're a fighter. You're going to get back up. You're a boxer, right?
I feel like at this point he sees all this going down. And he curses himself for his own hesitation. And he's going to attempt to restrain Sable, wrapping thorn vines around her wrists and ankles, and also around her mouth. And he's going to stop holding back.
How is this a stop? How is this a stop holding back?
Because he is. All right, so he stopped holding back. He is going to also try to create a barrier, like a ring of obstacles around any alley cat who is not engaged with us, if that makes sense. Like a definite ring, a fighting ring. But he's also going to try to restrain Sable. He's trying to reclaim the control over the situation that we have clearly lost. This way, if Sable is restrained, he can go and he can tend to Charlie's wound. It's a stop holding back at a significant scale, not.
Yeah, I'm still trying to understand how that becomes a significant scale, because based on your description, you're just restraining Julia, Sable. You're trying to intimidate at the same time. How does to play that out for me narratively? I'm not sure that it really makes it's the kind of situation where they're going to be so freaking stunned by what you're doing that it's. I mean, play it out for me. Tell me how get me there.
All right. His heartbeat starts beating fast. He can hear it in his mind, and then that voice starts nagging. Your friends are gonna die. Your friends are gonna die, and what are you doing? You're sitting here, and you're fucking. What are you doing? Armoring up? Get in there. Slice to the fucking bits, Henry. What are you doing? Look at Charlie. She's bleeding. Sethana is being manhandled. What are you doing? She is going to have them kill your friends, and all you can think about is protecting yourself. You're nothing, Henry. You're nothing. Come on, show them what you really can do. Show them that you're the one that they should be fearing, not Sable. And at this point, like, Henry kind of like pauses for a moment, feels this energy gather in his hand, and he slams with great force on the ground. And as he does, just vines that are connected to his hand, like the deep running roots, start rising up, almost as if he's making kind of like a forest, a dense forest with dense trees. From these trees, these limbs come down and start wrapping themselves around Julia, and one limb in particular comes and clasps with like a big wooden tree-like hand over her mouth and squeezes tightly, digging into her cheeks, as in a way of gagging her, lifting her from the ground and holding her in a position where she would be at a significant disadvantage. This dense forest begins to kind of grow thicker and thicker. Any alley cat that is not currently touching Sethana, Charlie, Henry, or maybe immediately around Sable are pushed away. If they try to come close to the forest will react and smack them away.
Okay, I see it. Stop holding back. 2d6 plus your logos.
It is going to be...
Can I ask a question first, though?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever recover from your previous power tags?
They should have refreshed at the end of the session, right?
Yeah,
because they were burned.
Yes, I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure that that's the case. Okay.
Mm-hmm. This is. I do have a modification on using stop holding back on my expressions book. It's called Contain the Surge, which says when you make a stop holding back move with your Mythos expression powers. If you roll a 6 or less, treat it as a 7 and 9 instead.
Say that.
Yeah, let me read it again. When you make the move, stop holding back with your Mythos expression powers, which I am. If you roll 6 or less, treat it as a 7 to 9 instead.
And this is the dynamite on that particular one?
It's the expression theme improvement.
The expression theme improvement. Okay. All right. I just want to be clear about that. All right. Go ahead.
No. So this is going to be Briar Defense, Briar Weapon, Briar Obstacles.
None of those apply.
You're right. You're right.
Stop holding back.
You're
so
absolutely right. I've only done this once.
Yeah, it's okay.
So roll 2d6.
Plus 2.
Let me re-roll that. Plus 2.
No, that was right.
Oh.
Wait, hold on a second. Go back. Wait a minute.
The first one was
1d6?
2d6, which came out at an 8, and then you said 2d6 plus 2, and that came out as a 14.
2d6 plus. Okay, so we're going to take the first roll and call it a 10, but it's still a success.
Okay.
All right, so it's still a great success. So, as we stop holding back, well, we didn't actually talk. We didn't actually talk about how significant or the scale of this. To me, this seems like it's significant.
Yeah, no, that's the scale that I would like is significant. It's not a no return. He's not killing anybody, and it's not an ultimate. He's not giving in fully to his mythos and starting a wild hunt or anything. He is using his power in an exhaustive way where he is just creating this dense forest in this bar. He's he's terraforming basically.
Right.
So mark fade crack on one theme.
It's a minimum effect for you because you basically roll a 10 and above. Okay. So you do this, right? That you restrain her, and the effect kind of pushes the other alley cats back, right? And kind of pushes, them away. As you can see that this is having the desired effect. For Charlie and Sathana, you're kind of taking this in and just watching this happen. But as the alley cats are kind of restrained Sathana, and then Charlie's just kind of dealing with her situation as she kind of paying attention to what's going on. And as one of the alley cats kind of pulls a gun out, holding Sathana, and points it at her head and says, "You need to let her go right now."
Wait, someone aiming a gun at my head?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the dude that's holding on to me?
Yes.
Alright. Okay, cool. I so want to do a thing.
Okay.
Don't threaten me.
Let's see. What am I going to fade or crack? He's going to fade or crack expressions.
Okay.
Because the voice in his head wanted him to annihilate these people, and he is pushing them away and restraining. So he's regaining control.
Perfect. So, Sathana, you're in a situation, there's a gun to your head as this is going on. What are you doing?
Alright, so if he's holding a gun to my head, he has his hands on me.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple of them that have you restrained. One of them has a gun to your head that's clearly looking at Charlie, looking at Henry, telling him that he needs to let Julia Sable go.
Okay. I'm going to affect the guy that is holding the gun to my head because that's the bigger threat right now. You'll see Sathana just close her eyes a minute and really focus on oh shit. And she's gonna share the grief of what she felt when she heard her brother had died, or when she felt that her brother had died, not just heard the news but felt it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give that pain to him.
Okay.
I want him to. Yeah, I want to give that pain to him. I want him to feel that, and I want him to drop the gun. That's kind of how I'd like to affect him.
So what kind of a move is that?
I'm thinking probably change the game, maybe.
Could be a face danger as well.
I don't know.
I'm just.
Well, I mean, but
Oh
like,
no. Okay, I can make this face the danger.
well, I mean, with
You can
change
just
the
look
game,
him square in the eye and just say, "You don't want to do this," and then smile. Trust me, and then she'll share the pain of it. Because that'll be looking straight at the gun and straight at him. So that'll be her facing danger rather than just kind of like hoping that it will change the situation. So she wants to exert her authority in that. So yeah, I'll take face the danger if I
Well,
can do that.
I'm making a suggestion that that's a possibility. It's entirely up to you what you want to roll.
No, if I could do that, then thematically I'll take it.
Okay. All right. Sounds great.
All right. Okay. So shared grief, conflict, no sword. I'll take fear. I want him to go drop, so that'll be flight. It's in a drinking hole. There was a vague threatening monologue.
No, there wasn't.
Oh man.
It wasn't a monologue. It was a very short. It was just like your statement to the rest of them before.
Yeah.
But
okay.
the fact that they have the hesitant status effect is going to play into effect. So make sure that's a positive status.
Is that +1?
Yes.
Okay.
People do find you terrifying, though. Does not apply here because that's exactly what you're trying to do. I think guilt does apply here, though.
Yeah, she's dredging up Ollie, so yeah.
Yep. And I think that's it. Roll it.
Cool.
Mild success. All right. Let's see how this plays out. The guy, as you turn around to him, as he's holding a gun to your head, you kind of turn around, you say this to him. He hesitates. There's a breath. Somebody bumps his hand, and a shot goes off, right? And instead of it actually hitting you, you're disoriented for a second. So you're going to take a temporary status in this situation, disoriented because of the gunshot was so loud and so in your ear. Mm-hmm. Right, so you were able to kind of convince him as he kind of hesitated, and he started to move the gun, and the bump happened, right? And so that happens, and he's no longer holding the gun at your head. Charlie, this gives you an opportunity. Do you want to insert yourself into the situation?
I'm going to knock out Sables. I'm gonna hit her. She is bound. No one can
Okay.
And I'm going to hit her as hard as with all I got. I'm gonna hit her with all I got and hopefully knock this bitch out. So, since it's the finest detail, perfect short range target, at this point I'm filtering out noise so that I don't let my sensory detail.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Sensory overload. I have a lot of power tags I can use.
You do. And she's also bound, so...
Fear is a weapon, always gets up because I am gouged 3.
Mm-hmm.
Martial arts and outgoing agility. That basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yep. Do it.
I want this bitch out. 13.
Oh yeah, that's definitely. So Henry's got her kind of restrained. You can see the power sort of emanating in him. His vines everywhere. Sethana, shot goes off just as you're about to hit. Clock. As Charlie moves in and clocks Julia Sable, and she is knocked out. And there is clearly some blood kind of running down the back of her neck at this point, as you can see that the features begin to kind of diminish on her, like the effect of what was the change of her skin, the skin tone. You can kind of see one of her hands is kind of creeped out of where Henry has her bound, begin to reform back into essentially a hand and not a a hand and not a claw, as she's kind of knocked out. As the rest of them kind of look around, going, the alley cats are kind of looking around, going,
Yeah.
"Uh-oh." Go ahead, Charlie.
I'm going to. I can gain advantage on the battlefield. You get 1 juice, and C change the game moves. So can I change the game in the sense of, like changing the priorities of the alley cats, seeing that someone so small and tiny just took out someone very powerful?
You can definitely add to the hesitant that Sathana has introduced, and now call it intimidated.
Yeah, intimidated.
All right.
And then I want to take superior position over all alley cats,
Okay.
and standing on a table and basically like, when you have like weapons and you like swing them in a circle, and like
You're kind of creating a defensive barrier around you for.
yeah.
Okay. So Charlie is clearly intimidating them and keeping them at bay, ready for the fight. Sathana, you're starting to you're being let go as this is all kind of going on, as Charlie has just intimidated the shit out of them that built on, and for Henry, you're just kind of, you're still in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And Juggy kind of comes up to out of the from behind and says, "I thought you just wanted to talk to her."
I get up, the wood armor recedes, and I said, "I did. She swung first."
You don't know who she works for. This is trouble.
Good.
Oh well.
I put my hand and say, "You and the alley cats, you guys need to go lay low for a while. We're gonna find out who she works for. We'll take care of them."
You don't understand. He's gonna find you, and then he's gonna find us.
Who's he?
Anatoly Vidalis. Does that name sound familiar?
Nope.
Nope.
He's only the biggest
Does it?
crime. He's only the biggest crime boss in the city.
Or then there's higher chance I would know that.
Everybody would know Anatoly Vidalis' name. He's coming for you, and then he's coming for us, and then he's going to come for our family. I thought you wanted to talk, not start a fight.
I clearly wasn't looking to fight here.
Neither was I. I wanted to talk to Sable. You were there. She put hands on first.
And you should have let her. Clearly you have the superior advantage here. But that doesn't mean that her boss isn't going to stop. As you see, different alley cats are starting to kind of, take off. They're kind of like stepping back slowly, and then they're bailing.
I look at Juggy and I say, "Well, you know what? Let's save Anatoly some trouble. Where can we find him?"
You're crazy. You're absolutely crazy.
I have been definitely called that.
No. And he drops his phone. He takes off his jacket, drops his alley cat jacket, and says, "I'm out of here." And he starts to move out of the room.
Henry lowers all the trees. They recede back into the.
And Julius Label just kind of falls to the ground unconscious.
Henry kind of lets all the alley cats leave and looks down at Sable and says, "Well, we need to make sure that when she wakes up, she doesn't try to influence us." And he begins to try to wrap like a a mummified cocoon, leaving her head exposed around her. And then he wraps one vine around her eyes. So when she wakes up, she's in the dark. But we can't make eye contact with her, so she can't control us. He's doing this out of the assumption that she has to make eye contact to convince somebody.
Cell phone begins to ring in her one of her pockets.
I pick it up. It begins to ring. I walk over, pick it up. I look at the caller ID.
Unknown.
I answer it. Miss Sable.
You're not Julia Sable.
Ah, you're very astute.
And you're very stupid.
I've been called that.
For a medical student, you clearly don't understand what you're getting yourself into.
I look at the phone and I hang up on him. Well,
Charlie's
somebody
phone
knows
rings.
this.
What's it saying?
Unknown caller.
I answer, but I say nothing.
Hello, Miss Cox.
I hang up.
Wait,
I
what?
pull up my phone and just wait.
We all like gather around Satana's phone. It's like, will it start ringing?
Julia Sable's phone rings again.
I pick up. You know, she's indisposed right now.
You're about to be dead.
Just hang up.
You have one chance to get out of this, and that is to turn her over to us and then leave.
Okay, yeah, we will turn her over to you. No problem.
You hear cars begin to pull up outside.
I hang up. Look at Satana. Well, it looks like we're going to have company. We either take her and leave, or we deal with whatever's coming through that door.
Did you find out whether it's her boss or just some randos off the street who want her?
Well, I would assume it's somebody very influential and higher up on the food chain than her, because we're about to be dead.
Nah, I wouldn't worry about that. Alright, let's see what we can see. I'm gonna go to the window, look out, and see what's coming.
4 vehicles have pulled up around the junkyard. Stepping out of those vehicles are gentlemen all dressed in identical gray suits. It's hard to see through the mirror or the window, but they all kind of look like they're the same person.
Oh, it's the men from earlier.
The same ones that came for Roz.
Yes.
Are any of them differently attired, or are they all exactly the same?
Exactly the same.
Alright, let's bundle her up and see what we can do.
All right.
There's
you
a
wa-
back door, of course.
Of course.
Charlie, do you want to try and hit the roof? Quick.
Yeah.
Before she leaves, I pull off my torque and I toss it to her. And I say, those will take care of the wounds. Get moving. Because she's gouged.
Yeah, she's going to need to do more than that. You're going to need to heal her if you're going to do that.
I have recovery meditation. I can heal myself.
Not in this situation right now. It doesn't work instantaneously. You still have to roll for it, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what are you guys doing?
I'm handing her the torque and I'm imbuing it with some will to get like a little bit of a magic hum going. It's not going to heal her instantaneously, but as long as she's wearing it, it's going to start repairing her wounds.
At least I wouldn't be like bleeding out anymore.
Exactly. It's going to stabilize her.
She's not bleeding out, dying yet. It's bloody, but she's not.
I know.
Well,
But,
yeah.
like, it would stop the bleeding. It would like stop me from bleeding.
Okay, that doesn't answer my question though, guys.
I'm
You guys
heading to the roof.
She's heading to the roof. Seth, Thana, and I I'm going to try to barricade the door, and then move to the back door, and out the back door.
So roll a change the game to barricade the door.
Okay. Obstacles, Briar defense, because we're doing this in a defensive way, and that's all that applies. So we're going to change the game. 9, mild success.
Okay, so you've got two juice to spend. How do you do it?
2 juice to spend. He's going to spend 1 juice to create this big briar wall on the other side of the door, and he's going to apply a status on the door that is barricaded, basically.
Okay.
Tier 1 status of barricaded.
Okay, are you doing anything else?
Well, we're gonna grab Sables and head for the back door while Charlie heads.
You've got another. So you've got another juice in the scene still.
Oh yeah. He's gonna create kind of like a papoose for Sable, and he's gonna put it like strapped to her back.
Okay.
And head for the back door.
All right, Sethana, what are you doing?
Well, being that we're not talking to them.
Heavenly sakes, we talk to people.
Damn it, guys.
I look at Sethana. I say, I've seen too many mobster movies to know how this is going to go down. Get away from the windows and stay down, and let's head for the exit.
Okay. I might have an idea.
Okay.
Can I turn, even briefly, like for a time, turn the junkyard into the vision of the battlefield that I see, with the intent that if people come onto it, they're going to either be terrified and run, or they'll just be so confused by what's going on. It gives us more of an opportunity to leave without being followed.
So you're trying to create a mass illusion for them to be trapped in.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure, if you want to.
Cool.
There's going to be a couple of negative status effects that are immediately going to come into play.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking fear will be one. Yeah?
No.
Always fear. Okay, alright. Fine. Yeah, conflict because we're in it. Drinking hole because I'm changing it. I'm thinking, could I argue Tale from the Dead? I know it's not technically what originally we didn't discuss, but it is a view from the battlefield where people die a lot. It is a tale that people would tell when they pass on, that they'd see a battlefield and then move on to either to Freya or onto Odin. Could I argue that?
No, because they're not dead.
Okay. And I'm not going to tell Spirit from the Dead.
Not yet.
Not yet. Alright.
We gotta take our wins as we get them.
I won't say no.
Okay, so the negatives
Yep.
coming into play are not intimidated, which is a story tag.
Mm-hmm.
And outnumbered.
Outnumbered, outgunned. Yep.
So roll it.
Okay. Alright, I think that sticks me at a solid 1. I think. Alright, so that will be, I assume, change the game?
I would assume so as well.
Cool.
How do you have 4 power tags
I
clicked?
ticked off 4.
Yeah, but you got 2 negative statuses.
Yeah, I put 3 in the ticks, and I've got 2.
Oh, did you click off the negative status box? Because
may not have done. Yeah, that's true. I may have
okay,
not clicked off.
we'll just minus it by 3. It's a 7.
So it's a 7. So you get that's 1 power tag, right, or 2 power tags.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how many? Well, so let's do the math here, guys, because that's the important part. With
Yeah,
changing
no,
game.
that is. So you're doing not intimidated, outnumbered, and what's the other negative effect?
Not intimidated, outnumbered.
Okay.
That's the 2 status effects. You had 3. You had 3 positive and 1 negative. Or sorry, 3 positive and 2 negative, if I remember correctly, because it was conflict. So it's basically you get 1 juice in this situation to spend here.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine. We can roll with that. Right. Would it be creating a new object or applying a tag to the area?
I would assume tag to the area.
Well, again, you express your narrative intention. The ultimately, what is the story tag or status tag that you're introducing into this situation? Though is now becomes the question, right? What is the mechanical element of this that applies here? That they imagine themselves on a battlefield?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I assume it kind of would be either would be confusion or halting.
Oh, if they bust through the door and step a foot inside the bar, they're going to see this vision of this battlefield. That's going to be the trigger. Is them stepping foot in this area.
Okay, Sethana, you create this vision of this battlefield. Henry's still heading towards the door. Charlie, as you're stepping up outside, you see that you hear that there are more cars out there. There's actually 2 more cars at the back. Do you want to take any steps here?
I'm waiting for Henry and Sethana to come outside.
Okay. So Henry and Sethana has created this vision. What are you guys doing now?
I stop and I feel confused. Would it affect me?
No.
No? Oh.
No, because she's only affecting her adversaries.
So I stop and I looked at her confused like, Sethana, we need to go.
Go.
Okay. And he starts bolting for the back door.
Leave.
And as you open the back door, there are 4 gray suit gentlemen standing out there waiting for you.
Charlie immediately leaps off the roof and
Kick him inside.
Okay. She leaps off and she's going to try to kick the 2 goons inside the bar.
Yeah.
I feel like Henry would kind of notice her intentions and kind of try to evasively roll around the door and hold it open. And when they get kicked inside, just slam it shut. Unfortunately, Sethana is going to be stuck with the goons.
Okay, well, hold on a second, guys. Hold on. Time out. Completely confused here. Charlie is jumping down, and she's going to kick somebody inside to the building. How does she know to do that?
I hear them coming out. I jump down.
No, why do you decide to kick? I'm trying to figure out the motivation for you kicking a couple of these guys into the building.
Less people to deal with outside.
Okay, all right. Okay. All right, so Charlie jumps down. Henry's opened the door. Roll it.
I'm working on it. Quick short range target, sensing the finest details. Martial arts, outgoing agility, and I guess yeah.
So you're gonna take the 2 negative statuses in this situation, which are outnumbered and not intimidated.
What?
So you're going to take the 2 negative status effects as well, and you'll apply them at the top of your character sheet as negative statuses. They are outnumbered and not intimidated.
Okay, so I have +4 and -2.
Yeah.
What am I rolling here?
You tell me, what move are you going to roll here? I mean, is this a hit him with all you got? Is this a change the game?
I guess it's a change the game.
Well, okay.
13.
Okay, so you get 3 juice to spend in this situation. So tell me how you're changing the game here.
I'm pushing. Let's spend 1 juice on. Pushing one of the guys in.
Okay.
2 juice on pushing another guy in.
Okay.
And I'm going to hide the effect of doing this from the front people.
Okay. All right, so you jump down. There's a car. There's 4 guys standing in front. You jump down in between all 4 of them, and immediately kind of kick back on the both of them as Henry and Julia Sable are stepping out. He kind of steps out of the way, and those 2 guys get thrown into the building. Okay, Henry, what are you doing here? You've just stepped out. You've just got this situation that's kind of shifted.
I slam the door shut and attempt to put a barrier on that one as well, same as before.
Locking Sethana in there.
Oh, Sethana's not next to me.
I haven't had a chance to.
Well, I'm going to yell back to Sethana. Don't mean to rush you, but we really need to go now.
Cool. I leave. If these guys are coming in as they're being like kicked in and bolding, can I add to their momentum? Like as they're coming towards me, just like kind of like take them to the side and push them through, as in like adding to that, like someone's running at you and just help like pick them up and like throw them. Can I just do that as they're kind of being pushed in past me, so I've got to get a bit more of movement around them?
Okay, sure.
Sweet.
And so they kind of slide in, and you step out the back door, and then you close it, right? Is that what I'm hearing? And then you're doing a change the game to kind of put a barrier up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're just going to gloss over that, right? And so you're able to kind of do that, but as you do that, the other 2 begin to try to engage with Charlie, and so she stands up, and she gets up and is ready for the fight. As you can see that there are other great shoot guys kind of coming around, because they can't get in through the front door because it had been blocked, and so just you see 5 and 6 guys come from one side and 5 and 6 guys come from the other side as they're kind of moving in towards the back, and right there is where we're going to end it.
Okay.
Awesome. Wow, crazy game, guys. I did not expect you to take down Julia Sable so quickly. That was pretty awesome. Charlie, you handled yourself amazingly in that fight, even though you got pretty badly beaten. Sethana, of course, influenced her way through that situation, and also caused a fight. And then, of course, Henry was just kind of a badass yet again with his stop holding back. So that was some pretty awesome stuff, guys. I'm looking forward to the fact that we get to finish this out tomorrow evening. That's going to be really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Don't have to wait a week to beat up Anatoly.
Do you really know who Anatoly is?
Yeah, I read the book. I know exactly who Anatoly is. And who he is in relation to Miss Ginger Ninja. Oh damn.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that also plays out too, right? It's going to be interesting. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and do outros, and I'll do a couple bits of business, and then we'll go raid somebody. So why don't we start with Sam first this time?
Hi, I'm Sam, also known as Harley's Armory. Tonight was fun. Charlie learned something new about Miss Sables, and that she won't have ever probably affect her, which is nice. I was afraid of being the only one being like super affected, but now I'm the only one not affected, so that's exciting. Yeah. You can find me on Twitter at Harley's Armory. Hopefully soon on Twitch whenever I decide to start streaming. Okay, yeah, bye.
What about Encounter Roleplay? What about your Encounter Roleplay show?
Oh yeah, I'm on Encounter Roleplays on Mondays at 10 a.m. PST, 1 p.m. EST, whatever CST.
All right.
Like that.
Awesome. Sorry, let me make sure you guys get her information in chat there, guys. Go ahead and give her a follow on Twitch, Twitter, and wherever else you can find her. She's incredibly active, and she has a huge presence on Instagram. All right, next.
I'm on that thing as well.
What is that thing? Instagram? Yeah, exactly.
That Instagram thing. I'll post the link in chat.
Yep, you got it. All right.
Actually, you would have to because it doesn't allow me to post links in chat.
Well, then I'll make you a mod so you can do that. All right. Next up, let's go ahead and throw it over to Alex.
Hey, I am Zippy Zippo. You can find me on the Twitters at Zippy_Zippo, and you can find me on. Wait, no. You can find me at the Twitches.
The Twitches.
at zippy_zippo. The Twitter's gaming.exp. I do a lot of variety gaming. I hop around to different channels and play tabletop RPGs, as well as be a generally cool dude.
Awesome. Thank you. And last but not least, Lamanda.
You can find me at Twitter at blood_BTP, where it's the easiest way to keep up with this stupid amount of shit that I'm doing all over the place. That was fun. Thanks, Johnny. I got to be an angel on someone's shoulder. I want to do this more. I'm done.
Did you really have a... Were you really an angel, or were you sort of like the angel and devil at the same time?
I think more like the terrifying, like, person, like, you like... you know, like when you're younger and you have a mate who's way bigger than you, and you go pick a fight? I'm the way bigger dude behind him. Just like, go on, you can do it, go on, get
Oh,
in
you
there.
never fight that dude in a fight dynamic.
Oh no, exactly.
You always go for the hype guy first.
Never.
So I'm the little person on the shoulder. I wouldn't say angel, but you know, closest vision to. Especially if she does get her wings. That would be cool.
Well, guys, thank you. That was awesome tonight. Really, I can't, like I said, I can't wait for tomorrow night. I'm glad we get to play 2 nights in a row. It's been a lot of fun, and tomorrow night's going to get interesting because that's episode 9 of 10 episodes that we have planned, and game changings are happening. So
They though?
They are. All right, guys. So we're going to do a little bit of business, and then we're going to go raid our friend Bubbernot, who is currently doing some D&D prep. So 6 and 20 is this cool thing that we do on this channel and on UnMadeGaming's channel and on NotSoSpeedRuns channel. You can find a bunch of information in chat right now. You can find links to UnMadeGaming and NotSoSpeedRuns and go give them a follow if you aren't already. We do this on Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, and Thursday nights typically. Tonight is a special episode because we're making it up because we missed last week, so we're doing back-to-back episodes. But you can find us tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We will be back to continue this particular story. We also have a deal. If you're really enjoying the game and you haven't bought the book yet or the PDF, we have a deal right now. We have worked with Son of Oak, and you can find the link in chat. For if you go over to their website and you pick up a copy of the core book, you enter the code 6 and 20 fan. You get $5 off on your order, and it's the only place. Son of Oak is the only place where you can actually buy the book and buy the PDF and get them together as a bundle. If you want to catch up on previous episodes, or you want to catch this episode again along with the VOD, it will be up on our YouTube channel, and the link is in chat right there. Go ahead and hit a subscribe if you haven't already. Hit notification button. Apparently this is a new thing that you have to do now. Not only do you need to subscribe, but you need to make sure that you mark notifications so that you get notifications when you always get alerted when a new video is actually uploaded to a channel. And like I said at the beginning of the show, which probably got eaten by the audio issues, looking to grow the channel to 100 so we can get the vanity URL. So if you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and give a subscribe. We also have a 6 and 20 YouTube channel where we've got an incredibly unique show that we do, which is sort of a behind the scenes talk about the episodes. It's called Beyond the Mist. It's hosted by McLoken. Alex has done it a couple times. I've done it once. We're going to try to get Valanda and Sam on that show, hopefully this week, so that they can, kind of share their insights on what's going on in the game and how they feel things are kind of progressing. Latest episode is being uploaded right now, so you should be able to catch. It's the 3rd episode in the series, and it talks specifically about the game moves, the specific mechanics of certain moves in the game. Other than that, you can find all of my social media stuff in the channel. And now we're gonna start this raid process with Bubbernot. So we're gonna start that, and please go ahead and join in. And then this is what you want to post in his chat when you get a chance. And guys, I want to say really a big thank you for everybody kind of showing up and hanging out. It's been a great session, and we will see you tomorrow night at 5 p.m. So from all of us to all of you, bye-bye.